It's up and down, I'm in a gambling phase. We're going round and round, it's a trampoline stay. Oh, it's like I never run out of breath, and I don't care if we make a mess.
A very good morning once again, Vooka Nation. Welcome to another exciting episode of your energetic start to your day with that little bit dose of positivity. And yes, it is the middle of the week. It is Wednesday. If anyone has never told you, it's time to get rid of that midweek slump that you have gathered, of course, for the past 2 days. So don't worry, we've got you covered because so much is lined up for you. So all you need to do is to be with us throughout our social media platforms. Let us engage, let us talk, let us exchange that energy that you are meant to have on this beautiful morning. You know that each and every morning we are dedicated into bringing you good things, and good things that you have never seen anywhere. It's still in the morning, the sun is out, it is shiny, and of course if you want to send us your beautiful picture, as we always show you the pictures in terms of the destination that you need to go and visit with your family and friends, you can send us your picture on how your morning is looking like on 060-4933-226. That's 060-4933-226. My name is Moketi Maimane and I'm happy to be with you this morning. So please let us ride on this wave and continue, of course, to have a very good show. So without wasting any time, you know that we always bring you what we call picture of the day. Behind me, there are pictures. You're asking yourself, where is that place? We are highlighting the Blind River Canyon, stretching 26 kilometers through Mpumalanga, and it is one of the world's largest and most breathtaking canyons, ranked third after the Grand Canyon and Namibia's Fish River Canyon. It stands apart as a green canyon flourishing with a rich subtropical vegetation. As part of the Blind River Canyon Nature Reserve, it offers dramatic cliffs, waterfall, and panoramic viewpoints such as the famous Three Rondavilles and God's Window, right? Teeming, of course, with wildlife, bird species, and large plant life. It's both a natural wonder and an outdoor paradise. This spectacular canyon invites visitors to explore, hike, marvel South Africa's scenic grandeur. Of course, man, you have seen the Grand Canyon, right? But have you heard of the Blind River Canyon? Of course, it's what we are highlighting right now. It's the world's third biggest, but unlike the rest, it's a green canyon alive with vegetation. And those views, man, Three Rondavilles, God's Window, it's nature showing off. Mpumalanga really holds one of the South Africa's crown jewels. And of course, with that being said, you need to go there. You need to go check it out. Just experience the atmosphere and the scenic views and adventure that our country has to offer right here in Mpumalanga. And of course, you're asking yourself, how can I get there, Mo? Don't worry, I've got you covered with what we call Topical shuttle services. All I need you to do is to buckle up and check this out.
Escape the ordinary and discover the extraordinary with Soweto Tours. Whether you're a group of friends or a family looking for a memorable getaway, Soweto Tours has you covered. Our all-inclusive tours take you to South Africa's most stunning destinations, from the scenic beauty of Mpumalanga to the vibrant life of Gauteng and the coastal charm of Durban.
Alright, I hope that was helpful for you, of course, to get traveling and get going with your family, just to see that destination and what it has to offer. So much is in store when it comes to traveling. It's summer. Let's get out there with our beautiful families and explore what SA has to offer for us. So that's it for your picture of the day. As much as I have been mentioning that we've got so much lined up for you with the guests that we're going to be with here in studio, just to have the energy exchange. Remember that for our theme for today's day is a Comedy Wednesday, but we don't have a comedy in studio, but it's for laughter, of course. With that laughter, we're going to blend it with some seriousness, because law is something that we all need to be informed about. So on our today's guest, of course, on Know Your Rights, we're going to be joined by Leslie Blakes. So on the 1st of October 1998, Blake started Blake Attorneys in a small office on the 3rd floor of the Times Square building in Yeoville, Johannesburg. The firm moved to Highlands North and then Rosebank in 2000. The next big adventure was becoming a mother in 2001 to a delightful child. In the 24 years since then, Blake Attorneys has attended the matters large and small in civil litigation and contract, and done a great deal of work in family law, including divorce, children's matters and deceased estates, as well as curatorship and related matters. And then on the next one, Mrs. Melody Gianni is, of course, coming back with another bang when it comes to wellness, right? She is a passionate entrepreneur and a wellness advocate. Her approach goes beyond products. She offers personalized consultation, expect after sales guidance, and a deep commitment to each customer's unique journey. Through Mel's Superfoods, Melody has cultivated a community focused on living better naturally, where every interaction is infused with empathy, integrity, and science-backed wisdom. Lastly, you're going to be joined by Bobby Ngwana, who is a dynamic force of positivity, authenticity, and purpose. As a seasoned radio and television presenter, life coach, mentor, and mental health specialist, she has dedicated her life to empowering individuals across all walks of life to unlock their full potential. Her mission is rooted in the belief that every person is destined for greatness, and she uses the power of media to help them realize it. So those are the people that we're going to be joined right here in a studio and having those conversations with them. So please do make sure that you don't go anywhere and you don't miss any of those conversations. But with that being said, let's take a short break and give you your weather update, just to keep you updated in terms of what to wear and to keep ahead of today's day. So please stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Alright, that was your weather update. Now let us keep you updated with your latest news headliner. Starting off with the first headliner, Madlanga Commission begins public hearing on justice system corruption. The Madlanga Commission, led by retired Deputy Chief Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, begins public hearing today to probe corruption, political interference and criminality in South Africa's justice system. Sparked by explosive claims from KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the inquiry faces public skepticism, with the MK party calling it a waste of funds. Mkhwanazi will testify first. Despite concerns over accountability, the commission promises actionable recommendation in reports due within 3 and 6 months. Spokesperson Jeremy Michaels emphasized the need to restore public trust in law enforcement. On the next headline, PA selects suspended Kenny Kunene for Joburg mayoral race. The Patriotic Alliance has named suspended Deputy President Kenny Kunene as its Johannesburg mayoral candidate, sparking controversy due to his alleged ties with crime figures Katiso KT Molefe. Despite an ongoing internal investigation, the party defends its choice, citing Kunene's political experience and dedication to combating corruption and crime. On your last news headline, elephant fatally attacks senior carer at Hotspur Sanctuary. Senior elephant carer Israel Shambira was fatally gored by an elephant named Limpopo at the Herd Sanctuary in Hoedspruit on September the 30th. The incident occurred unexpectedly while the elephants were in the bush. Shambira, a respected member of the team since 2002, was known for his calm presence and devotion. Herd expressed the deep shock and condolences to his family, including his wife and 8 children. The sanctuary is seeking expert guidance and has asked for privacy as staff and loved one mourning his loss. That's all for your news headline. Now heading over to your sports news. Starting off with Formula 1, Silverstone to Stage 1 F1 sprint race in 2006. F1's 2026 sprint calendar includes 6 events: China, Miami, Canada, and Great Britain, Netherlands, and Singapore. Silverstone returns to the sprint format for the first time since 2021, while Singapore's inclusion surprises due to its overtaking challenges. The calendar features 24 races, with Madrid joining and Barcelona possibly rotating with Belgium. Sprint expansion to 12 events is being considered for 2027 amid new regulations. Now on your athletic news, World Athletics to remind GB about slogan rules. Jeremiah Azu missed the 100-meter final at the World Championship after finishing 4th in the semi-finals while wearing a headband with religious slogans. World Athletics reminded teams of rules banning political and religious messaging. Azu may still compete in the 4x100 meter relay. He won 60-meter gold in Nanjing and Olympic bronze in Paris, and holds the world 100-meter record of 9.97 seconds. On your football news, Ndlovu honored his father's dream with Kaizer Chiefs move. Specialist Ndlovu, formerly of SuperSport United, joined Kaizer Chiefs in a move inspired by his father. With past stints at Maritzburg and Orlando Pirates, Ndlovu seeks stability and game time at Naturena. He embraces the pressure of playing for a big club and looks forward to facing Sekhukhune United, calling it a key early season test for Chiefs' revamped squad. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more sports and news updates throughout the show. Don't forget to share your thoughts on these headlines with us on social media using hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, and send us your voice note on 060-493-3226. Now let us take a short break, and then we come back. We will give you your latest traffic headline just to keep you safe on those roads.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
Catch us every weekday morning, Monday to Friday, between 7 and 10.
Right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network.
Always bringing you the best content possible.
Vooka Nati, wake up with us and kickstart your day on a great note.
This is your energetic start to the day.
Alright, Mzansi, let's get you safer on those roads with your latest traffic update. So, on the first one, there is a stationary vehicle on the N3 northbound at Moderfontein Road. The middle lane is affected, so please approach with caution. On another one, expect heavy congestion on the N1 between Brakfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. All lanes are open, but delays are likely to occur. Good news on the N1 northbound, the earliest stationary vehicle just past New Road has been cleared. Traffic is now free-flowing in that area. On the R21 southbound at R23, a stationary vehicle is blocking the left lane, so drive carefully through the scene. That is all for your traffic. If you happen to be on the road, do make sure to share your traffic update using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show or send us your voice note on 06049333226. For now, let us take another short break, and then when we come back, we're going to give you your morning brew and a summary of the news headlines that we've just had.
How? Chomi, you still cooking with cha, salt and prayers. Yo. But don't stress, ungawari, because your time to shine in the kitchen is here. Amapelepele Spices for Africa and the Vooka Breakfast Show have said, let's bless you with some spices that will slap harder than Umama's 7 colors. Vugage Flavor Fridays is here. We're serving flavor, vibes, and vibes with flavor. Flavor Fridays is the only plug you need to turn your kitchen into a 5-star chill spot. For 8 weeks, you stand a chance to win spice hampers that take your meals from meh to just by subscribing and tuning into your daily dose of positivity for an energetic start to the day. So Haibo, what are you waiting for? Don't miss out. Flavor is calling. Waza.
설레는 마음 가득 안고서 아무런 생각도 하지 말고 저 깊은 곳으로 뛰어들어 볼까. 아주 잠시 눈을 감고 하나 둘 숨을 머금고 붉게 물든 일거리를 짓는 맘 가는 대로 훌쩍 다른 vibe 조금씩 다가오는 밤을 따라 맘 가는 대로 let's ride 발길 닿는 대로 try 역겨운 vibe 끝없는 이 밤 위로 fly high 아무 걱정 말고 let's dive 이 밤을 향해 ride and vibe come on 둘만 아는 곳으로 너와 나의 paradise 널 높여 계속 가야 해 이 설레임이 사라지기 전에 저 멀리 떠나볼까 발끝이 닿는 곳으로 오직 둘만의 비밀인 거야 아무런 고민도 하지 말고 저 바닷속으로 뛰어들어보자 아주 잠시 눈을 감고 하나 둘 입을 맞추고 붉게 물든 저 너울 짓는 맘 가는 대로 훌쩍 다른 vibe 조금씩 다가오는 밤을 따라 맘 가는 대로 let's ride 발길 닿는 대로 try 역겨운 vibe 끝없는 이 밤 위로 fly high 아무 걱정 말고 let's dive 이 밤을 향해 ride and vibe come on 둘만 아는 곳으로 너와 나의 paradise 지금 우리의 마음 이대로 멈추지 마 ride and vibe 오늘따라 모든 게 지겨운 것만 같아 저기 지나가는 사람들 같은 표정들 짓고 있잖아 의미 없이 흘러가네 이 하루엔 네가 필요해 어디로든 떠나볼까 저기 노을진 길을 따라 설레는 마음 가득 안고서 아무런 생각도 하지 말고 저 깊은 곳으로 뛰어들어볼까 아주 잠시 눈을 감고 하나 둘 숨을 머금고 붉게 물든 일거리를 짓는 맘 가는 지기 전에 저 발끝이 닿는 곳으로 오직 둘만의 비밀인 거야 아무런 고민도 하지 말고
22 minutes past 7. Good morning, Mzansi. What's up, Mzansi? How are you doing on this beautiful Wednesday morning? Happy to be with you, of course, man, bringing you the good vibes for getting rid that midweek slump. You know that we give you all the best things, all the best content that you have never had before right here. So I would like to welcome you once again to another exciting, of course, morning show of the Vooka Breakfast Show right here, where we give you that energetic start to your day, accompanied by that daily dose of positivity. So please do make sure that you stay with us on all social media platforms. We are Vooka Breakfast Show. Right now we are live on YouTube. So all you need to do is to press the subscription button, press the notification button, and share the live with your loved ones, your family members, and anyone that you would like to be with us, so that we can chill and have that energy exchange. Yes, it is hashtag Happy Wednesday. We are getting rid of that slump, and as promised, that guys, let us abuse the number, let us use the number. Send your voice note, send me your picture of how is your sunrise looking like, because each and every morning now it is, of course, a sunny day. You know, sunny days are here, and when we wake up each and every day, we are seeing that beautiful sunshine, and you can take a picture on how your side is looking like by using the number 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. That is the number that you need to dial. Happy to be with you, and happy, of course, to share with what we have for you today. With that being said, you know, Dream Team teamwork makes the dream team.
Highway, nah.
Whatever.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's what I'm talking about. That's why you're here, right? That's why I have people who are here to hold me down.
Oh, Siam, something is wrong with this camera. Hell no, do I look that terrible? There's no way do I look that terrible.
As long as you know you look beautiful.
The settings of this camera. There's no way. No,
as long as you look beautiful, just leave the camera.
Yeah.
No way. Aren't you beautiful?
No, not but the camera is messing up.
What is it? What is it?
I don't understand. There's no way. There's no way. I've already smiled.
Hey, there we go.
No, there's no way.
The smile makes everything
I'm
better.
talking about grading, the grading of the camera.
Better.
It has nothing to do with me. But anyways, man, it's a wonderful Wednesday morning, Vooka Nation. And as Mugeti said, teamwork makes, as he tried to say, teamwork makes the dream work. It's Wednesday. The midweek magic is here, and we're turning up the volume. We're turning the volume all the way up, and of course, you already know how we do it right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. We're serving you laughs, stories, and the vibes you need to power your way through the rest of the week. And now, just a quick check-in, because you know what? Wednesdays are for wellness. And of course, Mina, as your positivity dose of the day, I'm doing my first wellness check-in with you, Vooka Nation, because you are who we do this for. How are you, man? How's your Wednesday looking like? And of course, how's your week going so far? Drop it in the comments. Come into the chat. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Hashtag Sivugile. Let us know how you're waking up, and not just waking up, rising this morning. Is it smooth sailing, or more like send help, TC? Because Yazin, it's only Wednesday and Sengila. You know, I cannot wait for this week to end. Which one are you right now? Wherever you're tuning in from, wherever you are listening and watching us from, I'm saying to you, my name is Utisi Gamazbuga Shabala, your prime cut creative and positivity dose of the day. Umamshengu omuhle indlovukazi yagwantu. Umwela se wawela ngeibugo ngithi kunina bayede. I hope whichever mood this Wednesday is serving you, you're going to say, you know what, I'm ready for the day, because hashtag Sivugile. How are you, my sister?
I want the week to end.
For
On a serious note, I want the week to end.
What's happening? What's
so
happening?
far, this has been a very terrible week. It's not even over yet, and it's very terrible. But I hope the Vooka Nation is doing fantastic out there. It's another amazing Wednesday. Khona Vooka Breakfast Show, and obviously, as you know, we're all about giving you positivity in the morning. We're all about serving you that high tea that you miss, boo-boo, when you woke up. So I hope you guys are feeling fantastic, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Stick around because we've got some comedic twists on, serious topics. And of course, fresh conversations with our guests that will be in studio and on some surprises that'll keep you locked in and, of course, powering you through to the end of the week. So this is your way.
28 minutes past 7, it is the time, and of course we have given you everything that you need to kickstart this beautiful Wednesday ahead of you.
And everything that you needed to know about
Headlines that, of course, that are making, those huge controversial statements out there. In the meantime, just sit right there, grab that hot, not hot, but cold glass of water, whether it's juice, but it's still in the morning. There's people who still do with coffee or tea. So please do that. Don't switch the dial because you're going to be coming back in a few seconds. So please don't switch that dial, man. And man, good vibes, things that we always give you on this morning. 29 minutes past 7. But before I give you the morning brew in terms of what is going on, let us quickly check out what is going on in our chat. Are people in the chat checking us out, chilling with us, and of course, man, sending those wonderful comments on the comment section. The first one that I have it's from Buhle saying, "Hi Vooka team, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Sivugile. Good morning to you, and hi back to you, Buhle Mni." And then she comes back and say, "Happy Wednesday, Vooka team and the Vooka Nation. God bless you all. God bless you too. I hope that you're going to have a very good day ahead of you." Right? Keep it locked, and of course, man, stay tuned because we've got more interesting things for you. I remember yesterday Luitu said he didn't go to school because they are writing. I hope you're also studying, and looking forward to the exams that you are writing, and keeping good off for yourself, because if you stay healthy, you will have different results. Tembim coming through saying, "A very good morning team, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Sivugile on a beautiful Wednesday." Good morning, ma. Hope that you're also good on this beautiful morning, and we're looking forward to be with you until the end and the rest of the show. Zinzi comes through saying, "A very good morning, Vooka Breakfast Show, Sivugile on the beautiful sunny Wednesday, busy taking a walk while tuning in as it's Wellness Wednesday." Thank you so much for sharing that with us, man, because you know what, walking is a part of a health journey that people take out there, and as much as it is hard, people need to exercise and drink water just to keep healthy, man. Make sure that you detox and your body fluids, man, they stay fluid. And then she comes through and say, wishing you all a blessed day ahead, Vooka Nation and the Breakfast team. Love you all. We love you too, and of course 100 times much love given back to you. And then Tembim is saying, "Happy Wednesday, Vooka team and Vooka Nation. God bless you and have a great day ahead. Take care." Thank you so much. And it is you guys who are also taking care of us as well as we are taking care of you, right? And then Tembi says it's a comedy day, and yes, as TC mentioned, man, that we've got some of the videos, of course, that we're going to share, and us, man, we're going to share some of the humor right in here. If you're serious or if then this is not your day. Switch the dial. And then we have Miss Q Rams coming through saying good morning and happy Wednesday. Good morning, Miss Q. Happy to have you, and I hope that you're going to be with us throughout the show just to enjoy what today's day has for us. With that being said, before the break, just announced that we're going to have that morning brew so that we can go through the summary of the headlines that we had this morning. On the first one, Madlanga Commission begins public hearing on Justice Commission. So what happened is the Madlanga Commission, chaired by retired Deputy Chief Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, kicked off public hearings on corruption, political interference and criminality in South Africa's justice system. Triggered by explosive claims from KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the inquiry has drawn mixed reaction. The MK party missed it as a waste of funds. Mkhwanazi is the first to testify. So what context and the significance of this whole thing is that the inquiry comes at a time of collapsing public trust in the SAPS and justice institutions. Allegations of political interference in policing have plagued the country, with critics saying that the law enforcement often protect the powerful instead of the citizens. The commission's credibility is under the microscope, with skeptics doubting whether recommendations will lead to real change. So what is next right now is the commission will deliver an interim report in 3 months and a final report in 6. High-profile testimonies from senior police, politicians and justice officials are expected. Public pressure will grow on government to act on findings instead of shelving them. Right? So the question for you right there, Vooka Nation, whoever is watching and listening, if you have any opinions or sentiments you want to share with us, is can this inquiry clean South Africa's justice system, or will it be another report gathering dust? Right? That is what is taking place, and of course, if you didn't know, the commission is going to begin soon. So whatever that Mr. Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi dropped, it is going to be looked into, the political killings that took place, and some of the people are going to be held accountable with the crimes that they have done. So on the next one, that is on, of course, top of our headlines, is the Patriotic Alliance selects suspended Kenny Kunene for Joburg mayoral race. So what happened is the Patriotic Alliance has announced suspended Deputy President Kenny Kunene as its Johannesburg mayoral candidate. The move sparked outrage due to Kunene's alleged links to crime boss Katiso KT Molefe. Despite his suspension and an ongoing internal probe, the PA insists Kunene's political experience and anti-crime stance make him the right candidate. So this whole thing, the context around it is that Johannesburg politics remain volatile, with coalitions shifting and service delivery deteriorating. Kunene, known as the Sushi King, is a controversial figure with a colorful past, raising questions about the PA's credibility. Critics argue that fielding a candidate under internal investigation undermines the party's anti-corruption stance. So what is next right now is that Kunene's candidacy may deepen division within the Johannesburg Council and among coalition partners. If elected, scrutiny of his alleged criminal ties will intensify. So voters will have to weigh his reputation against his promises to fix crime and corruption in the city. And the question for our listeners and the people who are watching at home is Kenny Kunene the bold leader Joburg needs, or gamble the city can't afford? As we know, his profile and of course his experience with some of the people who have been behind bars. So this is what the PA is throwing at the people, because they're also part of the parliamentary committee to elect who they want to be in the mayor of Johannesburg. Right? On the last one, the elephant fatally attacks a senior carer at Hoedspruit Sanctuary. So what happened is the senior elephant carer Israel Shambira was fatally attacked by an elephant named Limpopo at the Herd Sanctuary in Hoedspruit on September 13th.
The attack happened unexpectedly while elephants were in the bush. Shambira, who worked at the sanctuary since 2002, leaves behind his wife and 8 children. So Shambira was deeply respected for his calm presence and dedication to the elephants. The incident highlights the unpredictable dangers of working closely with wildlife, even in controlled sanctuaries. Herd described the loss as devastating to both staff and elephants under their care. So what's next is the sanctuary is consulting experts to review safety protocols. A full investigation into Limpopo's behavior will follow. Though experts stress such incidents, while rare, are part of elephant unpredictability. Herd requested privacy as staff and family grieve this tragedy. Right, and of course, a question for the listeners and the viewers at home is that even the gentlest giants can turn deadly. What does this mean for wildlife carers? And of course, man, you're passionate working with wildlife animals, and then this happens. I mean, it speaks to people who now are at school, you know, who are, I don't know, what do you call the module or the course of taking care of animals and working in the wildlife. I mean, there is a student out there who's studying and they want to be part of the wildlife movement, and of course the environment also. And then when you get to hear these kind of things that even there's elephants killing people out there, and what safety measures and precautions are being put forward, so that these kind of things and these kind of tragedies can be prevented, so forth, right? Yes. So of course, man, from the Judiciary Commissions to Patriotic Alliance, electing Kenny Kunene, and of course seeing the tragedy that is taking place at certain sanctuaries. Please let us know what you think right there by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, because we would like to know from you and to hear from you, Horewena, what is it that you really think when it comes to these headlines that we have. But I think there is something right here. So depending on their focus, right, they might be also referred to as zoologists, right, if they study animal biology more broadly, right? So zoologists are people who study animal biology and more broadly. And then we have conservationists, right? If their work centers on protecting species and ecosystems, right, those are conservationists. Their work centers on protecting species and the ecosystems. Then we have wildlife veterinarians, right? If they provide medical care to wild animals, especially in rescue rehabilitation settings. Then lastly, we have ecologists. If they study the relationship between animals and their environment, those are ecologists, right? So there's somebody out there who is studying these courses, and now when you hear in the news that something and anything can go wrong while you are there, but it's something that people should not concern themselves, as South Africa Vele is known as to have the big five. So we need people to be in those areas just to protect our ecosystem and the environment where animals live. But with that being said, I just want to hear from you. What do you think in terms of the headlines that we have just broken it down? I don't know if you guys have any sentiments or any thoughts with everything that we have just went through.
Well, Mo, I sent you something on WhatsApp, a video in which I would like to play. We're now speaking to the Mazanga Commission headline, right? Because for me, I just want that the Vooka Nation look at certain things critically, right? There's systems and policies and even commissions that have been created within government structures that have looked like they were things to redress, redress equality issues or issues of disadvantage of one group over another, and things like that. But it takes me back to remember how, BEE was painted as it's for the people, by the people, it is to put abantu abamnyama in a certain level, or ukuthi to balance the scales essentially. But also politically behind the scenes, there were other things happening, and it benefited, like you said, UPW Botha. I think there was a point where you, in discussions that we've had regarding, South Africa's history, where, you have said, UPW Botha, when he took that decision, when he was in presidency, okay, let me look at this critically. I mean, it only makes sense, Uguti, you must look at izinto on the eye, Uguti. Okay, lana benefit abantu kusafara abantu, but also there are ways in which you can make something seem like you're redressing it, but you're just putting a new label on it. Do you understand? Yeah. So I mean, of course, Umkwanaz is looking to make real and true change, and of course, when it comes to corruption and instilling and reinstilling trust in the law, in the law and in our judicial system, right? But also, just Imadlanga is also set to be a platform where now people are going to be put are being called to order. So it's for order, but also politically there is some or other political issues at play here. So I just want to on the BEE, right, because that's the one that comes to me in my mind right now, and I found something interesting on TikTok that, of course, I just want it to be just a reflection for the Vooka Nation, just to look at it and then relate it to what's happening right now when it comes to the Madlanga, and critically, Nje, of course, with the questions you've asked them now this morning, to reflect and truly be mindful when it comes to things that are shaping our world today.
Yeah, so I have the video right now. Let us quickly jump to it.
Black economic empowerment wasn't an ANC innovation, but rather the product of an apartheid-era business strategy. Because by the time democracy came, powerful white capital had already decided how to manage black inclusion on their own terms. And it's not speculation, it's actually documented. I found a paper by Professor Grieke Verhoef that gives us the receipts. And when I spoke about Moletti Mbeki and his first encounters with BEE, it had some credibility to it. And BEE policy didn't happen at a conference. His introduction to BEE happened in 1991 with a conversation with Steph Notling in FD de Klerk's Department of Trade and Industry. He then proceeded to explain to Mbeki that the project, where white-owned companies give shares to black people, is aimed so that black people wouldn't confuse apartheid for capitalism.
If I can summarize his definition of black economic empowerment, his definition was that he said that white companies must give shares to black people so that the black people do not mistake apartheid with capitalism, so that they get educated that apartheid is not the same thing as capitalism.
To teach them to love capitalism. He then told Mbeki that this wasn't his idea, but that it actually came from Sanlam, the Afrikaner financial giant that once funded the very machinery of apartheid. And I know it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but in Verhoef's peer-reviewed economic history, published in 2013, titled The Invisible Hand, The Roots of Black Economic Empowerment, Sankorp, and Social Change in South Africa, 1985 to 2000. And what she found is chilling in its precision. Let's start with some background. Sanlam was not just a life insurance company. It was the beating heart of Afrikaner capital in the 20th century. It created a complex network of holding companies, including Sankorp, which held a significant stake in Gencor, Volkskas, Santam, and Federale Mainbou. Now, these ecosystems of companies became the core of what was known as Afrikaner big business. And in the 1980s, these companies were not just aligned with the apartheid state, they were the state in economic form. Santam's top executives openly supported the National Party and sat on strategic state advisory panels. But then came 1985, Rubicon speech, international sanctions, and a collapse in the rand. Business confidence was gone. And these white-owned companies, they realized that their survival depended on only one thing: peaceful transition to black political rule without the destruction of their financial empires. So they began planning. And Verhoef shows us how, from 1985 onwards, Sanlam made a strategic pivot. They realized that if Afrikaner capital wanted to survive the transition, they had to transform from an ethnic nationalist project to a race-neutral capitalist one. And that meant building black economic elites. Not just any elites, managerial elites. Individuals who would own stakes in white corporations without threatening how those corporations were fundamentally run. They aimed at stabilizing markets and managing risks. Sanlam and Suncorp began quietly recruiting black professionals, accountants, lawyers, business people, bringing them into investment vehicles that were fully designed and controlled by Sanlam. In 1993, before the ANC was even in power, Sanlam launched New Africa Investment Limited, or NAIL, with the goal of becoming the premier black-owned investment company. And who helped finance it? Sanlam. Who structured the deals? Sanlam. Who picked the leadership? Sanlam. So Professor Verwoerd makes something very clear to us, that Sanlam's early empowerment strategy was not a moral project. It was about continuity of control. They needed black shareholders to prevent populist backlash, but they didn't want to give up managerial power or control over capital allocations. So they designed BEE to be about ownership, not operational power. And here's the model. Take a white-owned asset, carve out a minority stake, finance it through debt, vendor funding, or preferred shares, and then place the stake in the hands of a politically connected black individual or consortium. Let them repay debts using dividends from the same company. And this structure ensured that black partners had skin in the game, but very little control. It also kept them financially dependent on the success of white-run corporations. It was empowerment on a leash. And yes, this model became the basis for post-1994 BEE deals across the country. By the time the ANC came into power in 1994, Sanlam and Suncorp had already prototyped BEE for nearly a decade. In fact, many of the early post-apartheid BEE pioneers were alumni of the Sanlam network. Verhoef even points out that these companies framed BEE as a joint nation-building project, masking what eventually formed an elite co-option. The ANC, grappling with economic uncertainty and budget deficits, saw these models as workable solutions for fast-tracking black ownership in the economy without direct state redistribution. So what Mbeki described in his anecdote earlier wasn't just a casual proposal from a bureaucrat. It was the culmination of nearly a decade of strategic planning by one of apartheid's most powerful economic engines. BEE wasn't invented in Lutuli House. It was licensed to them by white capital, ready to roll out. So then what does this actually mean? The very companies that profited under apartheid also engineered the terms of black inclusion after apartheid. Professor Verhoef's work shows us that BEE wasn't just a radical break from apartheid's capitalism. It was more like a continuation, a new game but with different referees.
So it has now coming back to the Madlanga, commission. At the end, what I want the Vooka Nation to do is really look into what exactly is the Madlanga Commission set out to do. Who are the people who sit on that commission, and what exactly is it going to achieve in the long run when you critically look at it holistically? So that's just my point.
And I think, when you look at this whole thing, I just love how she broke down the whole thing of how BEE came by, because it goes back to now what people see as these structures that we're given, because there are people, certain people and certain races of people, they come take your land and then they teach you how to heal. It's like somebody coming abuse you and teach you how to heal from the abuse that they have, make you to go through. And one of the important things with everything that we are going through as a country, the most important key factors to take away from this whole situation is the design and the control. Because once you design policies, that will determine how the future will look like. That is power, not just any power, but power that can, give you all the wealth that you need.
right now, everything that we need to solve all of the problems that we think that we are going through is going through the policies. Let's change the policies, then you will change the livelihoods of South African citizens. Because right now, as they mentioned that this black economic empowerment is solely based on the shares that the black people, it's not on ownership. They don't own to control and design. They just own just to have things like to show, no, we have shares and this is the amount and the percentage that we have in order for us to see the progress of black people, of what they have been going through from the past years, right? So when you design policies, you control the wealth. That's what is happening with all of these companies.
So Imadanga, it's set to tackle corruption.
Exactly.
It's to reinstill law, but for like who are we putting? Whose hands are we putting this power in? Whose hands? Who? Is it the ANC, the GNU as a whole? Who? It's what I want to know. Like these are like the kind of questions in which now, when we look at things and now when news headlines are being fed to us through mainstream media, we need to, as a nation, in order to understand the impact of the decisions we're making for our livelihoods when we debate these issues and when we look at these topics, it's to who. It's to look at things like that, to break it down. And sometimes, like I say, maybe overthinking is a superpower.
It is.
Because you pay attention to even the minuscule details of something because you want to understand the whole, like Gary. So like you pick it apart, you look at every possible outcome, you look at it from every angle, like, and I'm an overthinker, so like, so I mean, if there are overthinkers like me out there, part of the Vooka Nation who care about these things, and it sometimes really hits them and they want to make that real impact, and they're like, I want to get really involved and I really want to understand that we're living in. Then I mean, that video was for that purpose, and of course that opinion was for that purpose, and of course then they can come into the chat and let us know their thoughts.
And of course, man, with that question that you're asking, Yoguti, who, because I remember when Kwanazi mentioned that in the whole spotlight, the criminal justice Vele was built to challenge all of those people who think they have political power above anyone else. Hence, when they go in the commission of inquiry, we bring all of those counts, and the crimes that you have done. We sit down and look at how bad did they do to the country and how bad did they affect the thing, what do you call, the policy, right? So he mentioned that the same people who are doing the crime are the ones who designed the policy, right? So I can't judge myself as a judge right now and say, okay guys, Vooka Breakfast Show, this is what you guys are not supposed to do. And when you do it, I put you through a commission of inquiry and say, TC, you are guilty, you are suspended. But when I do it, who's going to, put me accountable to it? Because I can't judge myself and say, no guys, I'm going to suspend myself for this much and I'm going to go away for a certain time, right? So that's why Kwanazi just put himself away from all of these people just by not even being in contact with them, because once you were in contact with Kenny Kunene, everything dies now.
Yeah, because I mean, the Madlanga Commission should be a board of independent, like they should have no ties, no kickback. There's no way that they can be linked back to government in itself. They need to be solely independent. But who are these people and who do they represent? Where do they come from? That kind of thing. And of course I see, and I salute Umkwanazi, for being a pioneer and a visionary to say, no man, guys, like this thing is going on too long. And I mean, there has been, remember Umangupe once said, Hore Muso wa, you guys are putting criminals into power. So you will see the results of putting criminals into power. Mangupe khosi Yabatswana.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Somebody who was quite opinionated when politically when it came to, the formation and the running of the ANC. And today we're seeing some of the things that he warned us about come to fruition. I mean, that's something like me. I learned, when we were sitting, and my brother actually, historically, and now when we're talking heritage, because I mean we are in Heritage Month, when we come and we talk about, these are the kind of conversations I learned when I was sitting around a fire, maybe and my brother talks, these are the things we can relate on as a family, because he's like, okay, what does my sister know? Hanami, what are the things that, the generational gap, what are these things that connect us as people beyond generations? It affects you from as a young person, but also umuntu akudala, as umuntu omdala who lived during those times. What is the connection we can get from here? But he was like, Umangupe Marawan said, guys, Guti kahle ANC Joe. Like they're gonna show us flames, and they are showing us flames.
They are, man. They're not even hiding anything.
Yeah.
It also comes back to the whole thing. Umat Iba, before he passed away, he did say that once the ANC starts misbehaving or doing things out of, it is time for us to literally take it out of power. And yet we still have the time to complain and not literally do a whole national shutdown so the government can actually take us seriously. Maybe that is what is actually needed for us to be taken seriously, and for the whole corruption and whatever to actually stop from happening. We need to maybe just literally make the government step
radical
down.
change. So you voting for radical change, I say radicalizing lento le. Let's take the Malema approach.
We have been preaching this for the longest time. We have been preaching this for the longest time, like 5 years literally into democracy. My ANC. Okay, things look nice because by then we had Umandela. So muntu vele vebaqala ukuthi wenza naye wadochithema enze 4 years. Jiki walahlela umbeki.
Do you think
umbeki no chabalala msimang badla imali ye-HIV?
Yo.
Kwalandela ubani uZuma. uZuma yene naye maqedile wadla imali. Kwalandela ubani uKhalema Motlanto. uMotlanto wabona ukuthi siyamsinda lesitulo wadotsha. Wangena ubani uRamaphosa. Like, this seat is hot.
So wait, is the okay? Just Nje, because I see at top of the hour, Nje. I just want to know the Madanga Commission. Is it like what they're saying? Which is it's a waste of state, resources? Because someone is saying, "Hi, this whole thing." Are you saying, "Uguti, it's a waste of state resources"? Or are you saying, "Let's give it a chance"?
We can give it a chance, but as we know in South Africa, okay. We live in South Africa. I mean, for example, the law. You wanna first of all, you wanna change the law. You wanna change how the law works for the people and make sure that the law works for the people. Medical leave. Like, seriously, he's been out with medical leave. There's so many TikTok videos with him and his daughters and his granddaughters. TikTok video right. But he's still out there. We want to enforce the law. Why? This guy opened a whole political party on medical leave. Nochal. Hi guys,
yeah. So with that being said, man, you'll just let us know what you think right there, because the Madlanga Commission, certain people were elected to be part of it, and we are going to see some of the inquiries that are going to be made and the charges that are going to be put forward for people to know, okay, this is the direction that we are taking. But with that being said, you can just use our number to let us know what you think. 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226, and use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, because after this short break, obviously we are going to just to explore a little bit of what happened in history with things that took place and the things that you did not know they happened. In the meantime, please grab that glass of water, juice, or hot cup of coffee and tea, and don't switch that dial.
Love it in the worst way. You've been gonna wait. Since you've been gone away. You've been gone away. I forgot forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday, your favorite position. Do we still have chemistry? Yeah. Since you've been gone away so long. Said you needed space, said you needed more time to think, so you went away. But you still would stay in my dream. Now you're back for more. Why you in my reality? My head closed the door, even though my heart just won't leave. That was then, can't go back. Hurt so bad, had to block out the memory. If we try again, start from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off, but you've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away so long. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday. You still wear cologne the same, like it in the worst way. You've been gone away. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away. 50-11 days, 50-11 days, 50-11. I lost count of all of the weeks that you have your way. Wouldn't pick a fight when you'd leave. Now you're back for more. Did you find the healing you seek, or did you realize that I'm everything that you need? That was then, go back, hurt so bad. Had to block out the memory. Yeah, start from scratch. You wanna pick up where we left off, but you've been gone away. You've been gone away so long. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away so long. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday. You still wear cologne the same, love it in the worst way. You've been gone away. Since you've been gone away, you've been gone away. I forgot your middle name, I forgot your birthday, your favorite position. Do we still have chemistry? Yeah. Since you've been gone away, gone away. In my mouth is a desert, running dry on the tip of my tongue. I can taste your lies, how to measure the love you throw around. I could never hold you down. One of us will have to take a bow. Feeling you so close to me, we drive around. Everlasting love, so much to go around. You got me so high, I can't come down. I hope you know that I will never let you go. If all I do is dim your glow, then fly on, baby, please just go. Your soul is the ocean, and I can't touch the floor. So full of emotion, I can't keep any.
Yo, Mzansi, are you still with us? Are you still riding on that wave? Not any wave, but a wave to get rid of that midweek slumber. 6 minutes past 8, it is the time. Giving you good vibes, and the vibes you have never got anywhere. Wherever you're watching from and listening from, hey, a very good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. I hope that you are having a good day. Not only a good day, but a kickstarter to the day ahead of you. It is your energetic starter to your today, accompanied by that daily dose of positivity. We are located in the heart of Johannesburg, which is Soweto, Dobsonville. That is where we are streaming live. Blinko Studios, these are the studios that are here. So please do make sure that you connect with us throughout our social media platforms. We are Vooka Breakfast Show. Right now we are live on YouTube. You can just use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show to comment down on the chat, and you can call us in or send us your voice note on 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. Before the break, of course, we wanted to share some good things with you. Not only good things, but I'm just gonna call them good spoils. When you're being taught history, you're being taught about the things that happened when you were not here. Some of them, they happened while you were here, but it is with the power of information and evolution that some of us got to know the information that we didn't know. Here we are in the digital world. We are able to just click one button in our phones and then information just pops out, and then you learn something new, right? That's what we are dedicated into doing. We want to teach you. We want to go through some of the significant things that took place in history. So let me just go through some of the things that took place in which maybe you didn't know. I mean, history students out there, yes, you might have studied history, but there are some of the things that your lesson didn't include. But with that being said, man, let me just go in and dive deep into what we are looking into today. So for today, King Charles of France suddenly declared that no Jew may live under his rule, following complaints from Christians in France. So on September 17 in 1394, King Charles of France issued an edict that ordered the expulsion of all Jews from his kingdom. This decree was a significant event in the history of medieval France and had profound implications for the Jewish community and the socio-political landscape of the time. The expulsion of Jews from France in 1394 was not an isolated incident, but rather part of a broader pattern of expulsion and persecutions that Jews faced across Europe during the Middle Ages. Jews had been living in France since Roman times, and over the centuries they had not established vibrant communities contributing to the economic and cultural life of the region. However, Jews in the medieval Europe often faced discrimination, scapegoating, and violence. They were frequently accused of usury, a practice that was condemned by the church but was one of the few economic roles available to Jews due to restrictions on land ownership and participation in many trades. Additionally, Jews were often blamed in societal problems such as plagues and economic downturns, leading to increased hostility and violence against them. Very interesting things that we have right here. I hope that you've got that, and if you didn't hear it, please just don't be scared or don't be afraid to reach out and say, hey Mo, man, what did you say about that thing? I'll read it back to you. The next one, man, the Dutch expedition captained by Admiral Van Wyk first sighted in Mauritius. The presence of the Dutch in Mauritius dates back to the year of 1598. It was by a sheer mishap that they reached here. Mauritius was not on their itinerary while they were sailing to the East Indies. Fate, through the play of a severe tempest, drove them to the shore of the island. Wow. People who are travelers, people who are not scared of traveling. Wow, man. They do wonders out there, right? On the other one, man, Miss America crowned Vanessa Williams the first black winner in New York City. Vanessa Williams is an American actress, singer, and fashion designer. She initially gained recognition as the first African American winner of Miss America title when she was crowned Miss America in 1984 on September 17th, 1983. So that is what I have for you. And please, man, keep in touch if you want to know anything history. Don't worry, I've got you covered.
Yeah, man. It sounds like Vanessa Williams. I remember seeing her. I didn't even know. I think I saw her on. She was as an actor.
Yeah.
Right, in a series, and I just thought I found it interesting that she actress. Sorry, I said actor. Yeah, actress. She was actually Miss America. I was like, wow. Okay.
Vanessa Williams, your thing, I feel like she acted on Ugly Betty.
Yes, she did. I think she did. Yes.
Okay, because I'm looking at the picture and I'm looking at the colored hair. I'm like, there's only one person I know will carry this colored hair for the longest time. Hey?
I mean, but she isn't Ugly Betty. America Ferrera is.
She's not Ugly Betty. But she's Ugly Betty.
Yes.
Okay. Me, I told you, nake krama batho ka di show. Satan putsa mabitsa mo ka real life. Only utisi bo la re chaisa utisi ko Vooka lanka bona ko shongong oh that's TC from Vooka, man. So that's how it is. Please, I don't want my brain to malfunction. I'm now going into the number of days that we have in the year. Today marks the 260th day of the year, and it would have been the 261st day if it was a leap year. Now we also have 105 days left before the year ends and 14 weeks remaining. So now also going into our national or international days. Okay, TC, you mind going through that one? Because when it comes to this one, it's just giving me problems. It's not updated on my side. I don't know, man. Look at what it says. When it says national, international, it still reads the 10th of September. But then when it comes to invasion, it's like the 17th of September. I don't know.
Well, yeah. Today.
Oh, you're also seeing the same thing.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am. So I mean, it's September 17th today.
I thought it was me alone because yesterday I had a problem when I was reading inventions, and then it showed me invention. Yeah, like that other week instead of yesterday.
Just a typing mistake, EJ.
So but
so is this also a typing mistake?
Which one?
So today
it's called World Patent Safety Day.
No, but it is World Patient Safety Day.
It is the one.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, it is.
So
World
today
Patient
is
Safety
World
Day.
Patient Safety Day on September the on September the 17th. The most notable of I'm laughing and no, don't worry, I'll tell you the joke.
Okay.
The most notable observance is World Patient Safety Day. This day is established to raise awareness and promote global action to improve patient safety in healthcare system. It was initiated by the World Health Organization and is celebrated annually to unite patients, families, health workers, and policymakers in advancing patient safety worldwide. I am a clinical like us.
Wow.
Anyway, so moving on to the inventions that we have. Inventor Philip W. Pratt obtained the patent for his sprinkler system designed to extinguish fires. In 1872, on September the 17th, the first patent for an automatic sprinkler system was awarded to inventor Philip W. Pratt. There were plugs to keep the valves on the sprinkler closed until it was needed, and when it turned out the sprinkler featured a spinning head powered by water pressure resulting into the sprinkler. And then right now we're also going to be moving to celebrity birthdays. So today we're Pearl Toos Pearl Toos.
That's not how you say the goat's name, man. Why are you studying?
Which goat? Because that's like one son that actually put him up on the dance floor.
Not doing any justice to MT, man.
Okay, anyway, MT's a hustler. Yo, we already know. So today we're celebrating MT. Yes, today we're celebrating MT. He was born on the 17th of September in 1992, and he'll be turning 33 today. Marital status: married to Nicole Kendall Chesney since 2018. Now rise to fame. MT burst into the South African music scene with the hit song Roll Up in 2015. The song's success led to his debut album Ivory Avery, which went platinum and cemented his place in SA hip hop. Interesting fact: he founded his own record label, MT Records, after leaving ambitious entertainment, showing his entrepreneurial spirit and commitment to uplifting new talent. Has he ever even signed anyone? Anyway, so also celebrating BB Winans. Now this is for all my OG jazz lovers and R&B lovers. Now y'all know this one. Now BB Winans was also born on the 17th of September in 1962 and will be turning 63. Previously married to Deborah Denise Winans from 1987 to 2003. BB gained prominence as one half of the gospel duo BB and CC Winans, especially after their breakout album Heaven in 1989. Their blend of gospel and R&B and the mainstream success. Interesting fact: he wrote a memoir titled "The Whitney I Knew" about his close friendship with Whitney Houston, offering personal insights into her life. And then we're also celebrating Malik Yoba. Who would have actually guessed that this guy is a Nigerian surname? I did not know. So Malik Yoba was born on the 17th of September in 1967 and will be turning 58. Now, he was previously married to Kat Wilson from 2003 to 2006, and then went on to marry Trisha Main but currently he's not married. Rise to fame: Malik became a household name through his role as Detective J.C. Williams in the hit Fox series New York Undercover from 1994 to 1998, earning him multiple NACAP Image Awards. Interesting fact: he's an outspoken advocate for trans visibility and plant-based health, and even underwent quadruple bypass surgery in 2021 due to hereditary heart disease. An interesting thing about him is that his infamous winning catchphrase and media controversies turned him into a pop culture phenomenon beyond Hollywood, man. A word of the day. I'm not gonna put myself on that one.
I love it when Everyberry comes onto the mic. To give you guys that information and obviously, take part in our daily bread report right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. And of course, like she said, because it's a Wellness Wednesday, it's World Patient Safety Day. So I know that in the Vooka Nation, we have somebody who works, in somewhat of a health or deals with patients. Uneli. Pharmaceutics.
Pharmacy.
So I mean, since it's World Patient Safety Day, can she jump into the comment section and in the chat and let herself be known, to say perhaps how, as somebody who is part of the healthcare system, how she is now observing this day. That would be interesting to know, or if she even knew that today was World Patient Safety Day. It ain't no shame, man. That's why you have the Vooka Breakfast Show. And now, of course, because Everyberry has given me the honor today to give you guys the word of the day. The word of the day is the word of the day is a word that perhaps we have used multiple times, especially when we're talking about land reform, about taking back things, about
bring back the land,
about of showing up in the world in ways that we want to, because of course you all know the term seize the day, right? And that is the word of the day today, seize, which is to take possession of by force or legal authority, to grasp eagerly or decisively. And today I want to ask you, Vooka Nation, what are you seizing today? It's a Wellness Wednesday, and of course it's the midweek. And because it's the midweek, we are looking at taking a pause, reflecting, and maybe just, gaining some energy for the rest of the week. There's a video, in actual fact, that I want to play for you guys about from a TikToker who has an interesting take on language and the words that we use that Mwekezi is going to play for you now in a minute. Let me send it directly to him, but it's on the thingy, but let me send it to him. That I think is quite funny. And of course, since it's also Comedy Wednesday, because a little laughter didn't hurt anybody, and of course it always puts us in a great mood. So let us take that
The
moment,
vernacular words for fat are very
let's also take that moment, just in Jay, to laugh a little and observe this video.
So there we go. Let me just
The vernacular words for fat are very effective at communicating their message. Stola. That word just sounds large. It sounds enormous, and then there's the word bomba. And here's the thing about bomba. Bomba, first of all, is a sound effect. Boom. And it also has the word bomb in it. It transcends all linguistic barriers. I could go to China and call someone bomba. They would immediately understand what we mean by that. Gimba. Gimba is like bomba's younger cousin, but just as effective. It's so, like, these words just scream 7XL. They just, you know exactly what they mean, and then there's English, fat. That's such a sad word. It has none of the spunk.
You fat.
It has none of the fat. It has less letters than the word thin, which has never made sense to me.
Man, since we're still talking words and considering that funny take from that video, what words in you, and it's still Heritage Month, what word in your language sounds the way it's meant, gives that effect, the way it sounds is like, you don't need to know what the word means. You can already hear what the word means, just in the way in which you say it.
Boomba. That's funny, man. That's funny. But you were still going through our word of the day.
Yes,
which is,
to seize, man. Yeah. So whenever how would you use the word seize?
Man, I think I would use it with my past experience. Ever had a moment where your friend sees you the opportunity, sees you the opportunity to shine. Like, this is my opportunity. What are you doing? Why you capture? It's my time to shine. You are here. No, bro. Like, you are seeing this thing. Like, everything right now is communicating. The energies are aligning with what I'm doing right now. Then when like, guys, stop being those kind of people.
Negative. Bobo Karen.
Every time when I see this words, I think of that moment.
Man. A sentence example for the word seize is she seized the opportunity to speak at the summit. The rebels seized control of the capital overnight. And of course, similar words to the word seize is take, confiscate, grasp.
Right. And of course we know that with what is going on in our country when it comes to like illegal immigrants, they are seizing everything that they have, their homes. Tutula, March on March. Recently March on March is denying people access to medical attention. But if you are born outside of South Africa, you're not supposed to get medical attention here.
No. I think the thing they're missing is that it's a thing of you can't. I think from what I explained, because I think they touched on it on what's that show on ETV that is like the Davy show, but it also is into investigation. Checkpoint. Yes. So they spoke to them in to one of the people and saying, what exactly are you doing with this? What is the aim, right? It's a thing of they citing that it's of you cannot come into a country and exploit their resources that are meant for people who are legally here. Okay, but then it was argued, okay, these people have passports, because now if you're saying legally, so legally meaning documented, undocumented, things like that, we're looking at factors now.
Because even if they have passports, they still also need to have permits. Are you here on a student visa? Are you here on a work permit? As much as you can have a passport permits you access access to a country, even for me to go to Mozambique, I must state on my passport that I am visiting.
I was coming right there.
For how
because
many days?
When you travel to other countries, somebody made a video the other day, saying Uguti, when I traveled to another country, yes, I'm in that country, but I had to have medical insurance, meaning that I had to pay for the medical assistance that I receive there.
Yeah.
So it's not saying no, we don't want you to receive this help. It's saying there needs to be some sort of exchange, because this is on the sense that the people that need to receive this are taxpayers, and this is paid for by South African taxpayers. Not to take away that, of course, people may argue, but then if these people are legally here, it means that when they take part in whatever, or they do take part in economic activities. So what are you saying to that? It's to say, okay, but it's by virtue of ulana. So somewhere somehow melu patalele kubalana. Same way if nya emzweni lagini ngizomele ngibhatalele kuba lapho, and ukureceive anything that I need to receive lapho ngizomele ngibhatalela ngeke bavele banginike yona by virtue just because I'm there.
You know, the perfect example is Usolu Muhuli. Before he passed away, he was in Botswana performing, and he had to pay for medical services. He was there to go work, aka do a concert, and he had to pay for medical services. If you guys remember, his family was even asking for donations. So it shows, Guti, it does not matter where in Africa you actually are from. You need to pay for these services. It does not matter where in the world you're from. You still need to pay for your own health.
So, but there's people, then there's people who argue, what about, what are we saying regarding morality and obviously, Uguti, are we saying, Guti, because you have no money, is your life worthless?
I mean, it's Ubuntu, it's the spirit that we are trying to teach people out there.
I don't think it's even about us saying that your life is worthless. For now,
is it a patriotic move?
Most South Africans are actually going up in arms about this whole thing about them not actually paying for medical services, because it has been done for over the years. TC Manghama Yotete Paracho. I saw this other lady buy her file Yokte, and she hasn't been paying for any of those services. It was my first time as a proudly South African mom, born and raised in Zanzi, going to give birth. So
who do we hold accountable for that? The countries they're from. So who do we hold accountable for that? Do we hold the countries that they're from, like Zimbabwe, Ghana? Who are we holding? The people or the country, their government?
The people themselves. It's the people themselves. When you go to other countries, especially when you go to European countries, you need to have insurance, medical insurance, because of such things. As much as you're going to get assistance, your insurance must at least cover half of what your hospital stay is actually worth.
So that's the problem.
When it comes to universal healthcare law, that's what happens.
Yeah, the problem with this whole thing is when you're introduced in a system, right? You are introducing people who have pledged themselves, to work very hard and dedicate themselves to save people's lives. But the system they're working under is against that, because no doctor, no nurse has ever came forward and said, guys, if there's a Zimbabwean here, there's somebody from Namibia, I will never treat them. Nurses are not coming out, doctors are not coming out of the hospital and say, hey guys, move, we want to treat these people, because those people, they pledge when they are there.
To save lives, doesn't matter whose life, but a life.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now the department, does it have that pledge, we are going to save everyone's life? Because in the Department of Health, there is a law that states, anyone who is in the country is allowed to have medical assistance.
Yeah, man, that's why, man, these things need to be looked at holistically, and also to be but then others may say, this is a patriotic move. Guys, the money must come from somewhere, and as South Africans, our country, we are trying to fix it. And if you're not helping us fix it, then what are you doing here?
Yeah. So
type of thing.
Because
because I mean, we complain there's not enough doctors, but you can't, like Ugani, Dr. Gani was here. Doctors are unemployed. It means that there's no money to pay them.
Doctors.
Do you understand? It's not that there's not enough doctors. It's that there's no who's paying them? Who's gonna pay them?
So one of the things, I think it's something that we have to learn with ourselves in our lives, that you're going to build certain alliances in your life and they're going to stick with you for a long time, right? Because when you look through and look back at history, South Africa had alliances with these countries, and it's something that we don't know. Now we are looking at the results, right? Because you're thinking, okay, why are people from Mexico jumping the border and things like that? Why aren't people from Uruguay? Why aren't people from Brazil go and jump the border to go to USA? Why are people all the way from Nigeria?
They're not though? Are you sure that they're not?
Look at the relation and the alliance between the slave trade of Indians with South Africa when they were brought here.
Okay.
Some of them believe, I have to pass all of those countries because it's the path that was sent, that was created for us. Immediately when the path is created, if our forefathers or our grandfathers were like, you know what, Tina, she was lahlela ngenkani in Namibia, trust me, a lot of South Africans will be going to Namibia because our forefathers, they have taught us there's land in Namibia that belongs to us. We went to Namibia and fought. We built fortresses in Namibia that says our name. So these people today, we are seeing them, they must go back home. But Ramaphosa was attending a conference and it has been named Ramaphosa has companies, no, not companies, but companies that are based in South Africa. They are in Zimbabwe. So they're seeing no man.
All gold. I know for one that all gold factories. The all gold tomato sauce.
Exactly. So if we see there are German companies in South Africa, there are Chinese companies in South Africa, then that means I can go to China and get employed there. Because
can you though?
There are a lot of people who are working
you actually
in China
can.
right now.
Like
a
you
lot
can.
of South Africans.
There are a lot of South Africans that work in China. Like for example, my cousin. In order for my cousin to even leave, she's married. She married a Taiwanese and lives in Thailand. It's because we have relations with them. So she lives and works there and is married there. I don't even know that last time I laid my eyes on her. We actually can. It's because we have such, and one of the reasons why we can go to China is because of the relations that we have with them through BRICS. Because of his scam, but it's because of the relations that we have with them. We have built a certain thing, but even them, when we go there, they still insist on us having a health insurance. As much as we are going there and our countries are hand in hand under BRICS, they still insist on having a health insurance. Why don't you ask yourself why the president of Zimbabwe even stated it? According to us, as the Zimbabwean nation, what we know is that when you left the country, you left to go and work. And you have been living there. In order for you to even go and live in another country, you need to have a certain amount of money that can sustain you for a certain amount of years before you can even start looking for employment at that country. If you are not going there because you are employed there, most people like president e bua 99 gore wena o ile molo o sna chelete and wa itse ka molao wa rona gore o tsamelo dula ko South Africa tshwantse bele gore o na ne 5 meter that can sustain you for almost 10 years while you live there, and you need to have your own health insurance. This is something that their president even said.
Yeah, man, this is food for thought, and that's what we do right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. We have those uncomfortable conversations that obviously impact the way our worlds are being shaped. And of course, right now, the time is 8:35, and the quote and inspirational message for today is, tomorrow isn't waiting for you to be perfect. It's waiting for you to be present. And And the quote I want you, Vooka Nation, to consider this grand and peaceful rising on this Wednesday morning. It is start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And this is a quote by Arthur Ashe. And that is the words that I need for you to carry into the day as we are about to bring you more of that daily dose of positivity for that energetic start to the day. And of course, yeah, man, it's a Wellness Wednesday and there's guests coming up, man. So yeah, you still need to look out for Melody from Mel's Superfoods, who will be coming through to, do a live demo right here on the show. I took a vow and I accepted a challenge last week when she was here with her product to say, because of course I'm on a wellness journey, I want to be the best version of TC that I can be. And of course, she mentioned that these products of hers can help with mental health. They can help with just your holistic well-being. I'm like,
can they help with my neck?
Maybe, I don't know, because maybe if that's inflammation, maybe there's something you can take for that. But if you want to also find out how that can how her products can help you, stay tuned for that conversation. And of course, because it's Know Your Rights Wednesdays, midweek, we also take time to get in touch with the law, man. What's making policies, as we've been talking policies, we've been talking lawmaking, we've been talking a whole lot of that jargon. We're going to have Leslie Blake, who, when we were out in Sandton at the women's business conference,
Ascend Her.
Yes, the Ascend Her Women's Business Conference 2025 in Sandton. We were out there. We had her. So that conversation is going to continue right here in studio, because this time she will be right here in the Vooka Breakfast Show studio, and she will be having more conversations on legal rights and of course things to do with the law, and of course her journey as somebody who's had significant moves, or made significant moves within the legal spaces. And then there's another one that we're going to have for the Mind Basket right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Yes, man. And of course, you don't want to miss that. It's a Wellness Wednesday, man. So of course, when it comes to wellness and how to, keep our minds right, while we face the week, and of course, persevere through the week, we need to obviously get those mindsets checked. So she will be here to have that conversation with us.
So with that being said, man, just to close off of that word of the day, I think as human beings, we're just seizing each other the opportunity to explore what this world has, because honestly I believe that we are all illegal immigrants here in this land. All of us are illegal immigrants, guys. You have no ownership of anything. When that man was creating and designing everything that we are seeing today, he did not say, guys, go and have papers that will say you own this part of this world. No, guys, this world is for all of us. So this thing illegal immigrant, no, man, it's something that honestly needs to be looked at, because this is a land for everyone.
Are you saying that's also like a colonial in construct? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Human beings
like if being echo, then if that thing never wasn't inherently ours, it's not within us. If it wasn't inherently within us, then what was all of that about?
When they got there, imagine being in a place and then you are scared of everything that's gonna take place, and you are also scared.
Why
most
scared?
of them, they were scared. I think countries were designed because people were scared. What if somebody comes in and change the way we live? What if someone comes in and want to do what they want us? Just to come into your own space and tell you what to do. I think that's what people were skeptical about. Hence, they created the barricade for themselves.
So must there be fear in order to protect?
There must be fear in order to protect.
So are you saying protection is a response of fear?
Exactly.
Can only ever exist as a response to fear?
Not only, because you can look at this at a lot of ways,
You-
right?
yes.
A lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So the reason I don't believe in what we call countries, man. We are not meant to live in countries. We are meant to live as people, exploring each other and learning each other different ways.
Interesting take. I actually like it.
Let me not buy a ticket to England, to UK, to Zimbabwe. Like, let me just go there and see how's life on the other side. I mean, it's the term that people use, you know.
Growth,
hey,
yeah.
How's life on the other side, man? I mean, life is good, guys. You should go and check out where I live so that you can see now people are putting themselves and they making themselves superior. Like, no, we have our own country, we are wealthy, this is what we have. But when you look at the whole aspect of them being wealthy, is you taking minerals from my land. Like, it doesn't make sense. Would you call yourself wealthy by taking from me? Like, let us redefine what wealthy is, guys. Like, if you're going to call yourself a first world country, come on, I might be the first world person here.
Interesting take, Mo.
Understand? So we shouldn't just seize that opportunity to explore ourselves as human beings. Somebody died because of this whole concept of countries. I mean, you shouldn't die by exploring the whole land, like just traveling all over the world, because Botswana and everyone, when they go home, they say mabala. Mabala is not only here, guys. Mabala is everywhere, right? So it's something that we need to look into, and what we are speaking about. And Luena, you can seize something out there that is meant for you. Don't let anyone seize your positive energy. Don't let anyone seize your good energy that you have, so that they can come and ruin all of the good aspects of your life you have created for you, right? So with that being said, man, you know that there are things that we go through and the things that we miss when we are on our social media platforms and things like that. So in case you missed it, let us take you straight to it. And not even sure if this one is for today, Johan Rupert.
It is actually,
Yeah.
and there's actually a video to it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today I'm coming in with the videos, man.
Yeah.
Like, today is not like abafuna ukuzathina Joe. Asizwa abanye abantu for a change.
Yeah, so on this one, man, what you're going to go through is that Johan Rupert and Koos Becker are stockpiling billions in assets. And what is really going on? So the context of this thing, okay,
you know what? Let me try and give you.
It's the richest man in South Africa.
Wow.
Oh, Rupert ke yona kapile Ramaphosa ne?
Johan Rupert.
Yeah, so right now we're about to unpack something that's been making moves quietly in the background. Two of South Africa's wealthiest men, Johan Rupert and Koos Becker, have made some very bold financial moves in the past few months. First, Rupert, through his investment company Reinet, sold off a massive stake in British American Tobacco and is in advanced talks to sell almost half of Pension Insurance Corporation in the UK, a deal worth up to 140 billion rand. After these moves, a quarter of Reinet's assets are sitting in cash. That's not pocket money. That's serious liquidity. Now let's look at Koos Becker. His family trust has sold around 3 billion rands worth of processed shares, which are tied to volatile global tech stocks. And instead of doubling down on tech, Becker is reinvesting it into real world assets, which is hotels and estates in South Africa, the UK, and even in Italy. So what's happening here? On paper, it looks like smart investing. Tobacco is under regulatory and reputational pressure. Tech stocks are volatile, and hotels plus estates are stable, tangible assets. It makes sense, right? But here's the harder question: is this just investing, or are we watching them build a building of? Are we watching the building, of war chest for something happened behind the scenes? Think about the timing. Globally, interest rates have been swinging. Wars in Ukraine and the Middle East are shaking markets, and even in Europe, tourism is bouncing back, which makes hotels suddenly very attractive. Closer to home, South Africa is bracing for the Madlanga Commission public hearings, which are digging into who really controls our economy. When billionaires start making moves out of vulnerable sectors and into cash and global assets, it sends a signal. To some, it says trouble is coming. Maybe political instability, maybe new regulation, maybe tax changes, or maybe just global market turbulence. Whatever it is, they're making sure their money is safe and mobile. And here's the food for thought for you, Vooka Nation. While the ultra-wealthy diversify across continents and shield themselves from risk, the average South African is left exposed. Pensions tied up in funds, salaries eaten by inflation, jobs under pressure. So the real question for us is, are Rupert and Becker just being brilliant investors, or are they quietly preparing for storms the rest of us haven't even seen on the radar yet? And more importantly, if the elite are building war chests, what are we doing to protect our own financial futures? Because whether you're playing with billions, thousands, or even just rands and cents, the principle is the same. You can't afford to ignore the winds of change when money starts to make moves at this scale. So watch this video and let us know what you think, because I'm interested to know what your opinions are.
Africa are quietly stockpiling billions. Then ask yourself, what are they preparing for that you are not? So, while the president is rage baiting us all, I mean, look at us, fighting in malls, obsessing about Bitcoin, arguing about politics. Meanwhile, two men you've never met just pull the lever that could delete your future. Meet Johan Rupert and Koos Becker. They sound like uncles you avoid at braais, right? Wrong. These two control more cash than your entire suburb. At the moment, they're doing something immensely terrifying. Johan Rupert's heist. The man sold British American tobacco shares plus pension assets to the sum total of 108 billion rand in cash. Koos Becker's pivot. Koos dumped 156 million euros in tech stocks to buy hotels in Italy, the UK and South Africa. So if it's not clear yet, Rupert's cash pile is 8% of his empire's value. This is not investing. It's a war chest. But for what? The man is cutting zip. But when a shark stops swimming, it smells blood. But sure, keep debating sports at the braai. Meanwhile, here's what you've been missing. The man sold process right before Donald Trump's tariffs created NASDAQ by 10%. Coincidence or insider chess? Silence. Zero new acquisitions. Just cash stacked, waiting. What is the exodus? 250 South African millionaires fled this year. Safety, taxes, survival. They are not diversifying, they're building lifeboats, and you are not invited.
Chad, brother, what are you talking about?
Well, let's connect the dots so simple that a lady in Krish could connect them. When Rupert deploys $108 billion, he'll buy distressed assets, mines or banks, at fire sale price, broer. When Koos Becker ditches technology, his hotels employ dozens, not thousands, which means jobs evaporate.
But what was the catalyst
that set all of this off? Donald Trump's tariffs, which takes effect the 1st of August, South Africa's 0.1% GDP growth. These two billionaire business moguls are not gambling. They're positioning for chaos, for collapse, and then for opportunity. But don't panic. No, don't panic. Pay attention. Here is your survival kit. Follow the money. Billionaires hoard cash before storms. Build your emergency fund now. It's time to ditch the sexy assets. Crypto, meme stocks, Koos Bikker just swap tick for bricks. Time to get boring. And you need to watch Donald Trump. You remember the KwaZulu-Natal riots? Well, they move billionaires. And billionaires move markets. And markets move your salary. So just remember this, that these billionaires are prepared. While we were laughing at memes, they were building arcs, like the Noah kind. So the flood's coming. Will you float or will you drown? You move.
Interesting. What do you think?
I mean, with this whole thing, because the same person, Johan Rupert, went to the US together with the president, to sit down, of course, and speak about what is happening in our country, right? And when you look at how these people are moving now, protecting themselves when the storm is coming, as they call it, because yes, the storm is coming, and I think this storm is created intentionally so that we can see the power moves that they have. And then now, when they make those power moves, Rona as citizens, we follow them behind, because when the president comes and addresses the nation to say, guys, this is what is going to happen and this is what is taking place, of course they're creating channels where we are distracted while they're placing everything accordingly. So with everything being said right here, it's like they know we have power and they know we control them. Anything we say to them, they will abide by what we tell them. That's what is happening, whether you like it or not, because moving like big commodities and huge amounts of money, it draws a lot of attention. So you need to distract anyone who's in front of you. Imagine you're at home and you want to move 100 million out while your parents are in the house. How are you going to do that? You need to do something to distract them. So each and everything that is happening in the background, that's usually what takes place, because they're moving, like they're doing big power shifts and big power moves out there, right? So as much as the storm is coming, my friend, we still live in the same land. But what is it going to, entail at all? Like, what is going to be the result of everything? Yes, you have your assets and everything. When the storm is coming, how are you going to use those assets? Because you need the same people that you're trying to distract to help you to make those assets valuable, right? When you are cashing in, you want bricks. Yes, you understand how bricks are more valuable and they're not going to deteriorate, when time goes, because it's natural resources. Nothing can take the value and the power of a natural resource. If right now I have 100 million and swap it with a ton of gold bricks, hey man, that's well for years. Years.
In a way, I kind of understand what Mo is actually saying, because with them having that much cash on them, right, it kind of sways in the fact that we pay attention to the amount of money they have right now from selling off some of the assets that they actually had, right, which is basically the cash in hand. But in the back, they still have other assets, and then the whole cash front corner is actually distracting us from what they're actually doing with the remainder of the other assets, because we're so focused over the fact that no, this person is like 108 billion in cash, and then we're not focusing on the fact that he's worth more than that. So what exactly is he doing with the other remainder of the other billions that he has, which is something we're not paying attention to. But in a way, it's also a move that we should also be glued to and be paying attention to, because they're making some pretty wise moves. In a way, it's a very smart move. But in the end, it also goes back to the fact that are they really hiding something that is actually going to happen?
Or you mean, are they privy to something?
Yes, and then you look at the whole commission that's coming right now in terms of investigating who's running our economy. Why do we have the country's biggest billionaires selling off assets just when this whole commission inquiry just opened? Wagwan, what's going on here? It makes it a bit dodgy. It makes it a bit fishy that as much as, yes, South Africa has been struggling, this is something that has been happening almost half of the year. They even went to the US for this. So meaning that they could have sold the assets like around that time. Why selling it at this crucial moment in time when we're now having Nhlanhla Mkhonazi going in as a witness and giving out testimonies, and we're having an inquiry that's also tapping into the economy of South Africa, what makes it run, who's controlling it. Why at this specific time y'all are starting to sell your assets and starting to have cash?
Oh, well, you know, somebody who has interesting takes and of course legal backing and insight is Leslie Blake, and she just stepped into studio right now, and obviously she's going to take us into the Know Your Right segment, and the time just hit 8:55, so we're preparing to have that engagement with her right now, so you need to stay tuned just for that one. I cannot wait.
Yeah, interesting conversations we are going to have as she is going to lead us in the right direction. Some of us, we're thinking we're making power moves, but those power moves are getting us into trouble, right?
Yeah.
So of course, when you are in trouble, you need someone who is going to advise you legally.
Yes.
So it's a conversation that we're just going to have after this short break. Leslie Blake, founder of Blake Attorneys, right? She was born in Cape Town, September 1969, to a mother who was a medical technologist and a father who had just joined the Standard Bank as a teller. At the age of 3, she moved to the mountain kingdom of Lesotho, where she started preschool and horse riding. 2 years later, the family moved to the United Kingdom for a year. She came back to South Africa and moved to Transvaal, where she started grade 3 in Roodepoort. After finishing high school at Westridge High School, she stayed at her university career at Wits, where she completed a BA and LLB during the height of apartheid repression at Wits. Right? Quite interesting, and she is going to be with us after this short break. So all I need you to do is to stay tuned. Don't switch the dial, because interesting things are coming up after this break.
I've been grinding 24, 24. So nigga in the mirror, you the go.
Back to the course of my younger days. Lived through it all, but still nothing changed. Forever be me till I'm in the grave. Face on my problems, don't run away. Stand on my feelings, don't need a chase. Just shoot me straight. I'm like an acrobat, a circus act. Like they got me in a cage. I could go tit for tat, the gift to gab, but can't give it to the hate. I'ma just tip my cap and dip right back to my little happy place. Back on the 9 to 5 again. Steady just working for Saturday. I've been going through the motions, trying to find my way. Never notice if you notice, so I smile and wave. All dry, stay focused, setting my little pace. And now all I have to say, I was the boy with the plan, that turned me into a man. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Whoops, I did it again. On business is right where I stand. Never been slipping on sand. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Whoops, I did it again. I was the boy with the plan, that turned me into a man. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Oops, I did it again. On business is right where I stand. Never been slipping on sand. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Oops, I did it again. Oh man, there he goes again. Every quarter records rolling in. Then the quarters get to rolling in. Turning change right to paper. Turning paper to the banks. I can't lie, so I can save it. So I slip some in the safe, throw the key away. Mama been worried, but she knows where I've been. I've been grinding down dirty, stay awake till I can.
emotions, trying to find my way. Never notice if you notice, so I smile and wave. All dry, stay focused, setting my little pace. And now all I have to say, I was the boy with the plan, that turned me into a man. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Whoops, I did it again. On business is right where I stand. Never been slipping on sand. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Whoops, I did it again. I was the boy with the plan, that turned me into a man. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Whoops, I did it again. On business is right where I stand. Never been slipping on sand. And man, I keep winning and winning again. Whoops, I did it again.
Trauma with a prima donna, gasping when she see the commas, laughing to conceal the monsters. I feel like Kanye when he lost his Donda. When my father left me, you were there to heal the pain I conquered. I never pay you back for what that meant to me. Some scars just fade physically, but never leave mentally. It's where people spiritually connected turn to enemies, and memories turn to villain origin accessories. And I'm the bad guy yet again. Spent so much time trying to find who the victim is. It's probably both of us, but neither one is giving in. So here we go again, throwing punches at each other's ribs. Gunshots sting like a buckshot. The pain hits deep, it's like my heart becomes a blood clot. Love dots, you're unblocked. Just to get this message, hope you get it on your bus stop. And then the bus crash, your true intentions unmasked. It should have been a fairy tale ending, but you uncast. I know it hurts bad, but you know you deserve that. We'll never have the life we once had. Hey. Emotional trauma with a prima donna. Hey. Yeah. Emotional trauma with you. I got my problems with you, but I can never get away. I wish my brain had a hard drive that I could reset. Wish I made the right decisions, but it's hard to reject. Moving on, but you got me on both sides of the fence. Left your mark forever, that's without a scar on the flesh. Wish that I was sick and didn't hit the bar when we met. And spent my money time with you just to be in this debt. See you happy somewhere else while I've been filled with regret. Try to find someone to blame, but it's just cause and effect. Hey. I thought that was the truth, cause nothing lasts forever, that's except for me and you. Young and unaware of all the shit that we would do. Try to make it out alive, but didn't make it through. Your parents probably hate me, but my mom still always asks if we're getting back together, even though it ended bad. Forward thinking, haunted by the habits of my past. Precious moments with you, girl, you even met my dad. And any girl after you won't ever have the pleasure. So I guess it's part of why it's hard for me to ease the pressure. So many years, so many times I can't remember. Fear I'll lose them all forever. Hey. Yeah. Emotional trauma with a prima donna. Yeah. Emotional trauma with you. I got my problems with you, but I can never get away. I can never get away. So I can never get away. So I can never get away. Trauma with a prima donna, gasping when she see the commas, laughing to conceal the monsters. I feel like Kanye when he lost his Donda. When my father left me, you were there to heal the pain I conquered. I never pay you back for what that meant to me. Some scars just fade physically, but never leave mentally. It's where people spiritually connected turn to enemies, and memories turn to villain origin accessories. And I'm the bad guy yet again. Spent so much time trying to find who the victim is. It's probably both of us, but neither one is giving in. So here we go again, throwing punches at each other's ribs. Gunshots sting like a buckshot. The pain hits deep, it's like my heart becomes a blood clot. Love dots, you're unblocked. Just to get this message, hope you get it on your bus stop. And then the bus crash, your true intentions unmasked. This should have been a fairy tale ending, but you uncast. I know it hurts bad, but you know you deserve that. We'll never have the life we once had. Hey. Emotional trauma with a prima donna. Hey, yeah. Emotional trauma with you. I got my problems with you, but I can never get away. I wish my brain had a hard drive that I could reset. Wish I made the right decisions, but it's hard to reject. Moving on, but shit, you got me on both sides of the fence. Left your mark forever, that's without a scar on the flesh. Wish that I was sick and didn't hit the bar when we met.
And of course, we're back and we're still with you right here on this wonderful happy Wednesday, giving you the good vibes, a good mood that you need to start your day on a very high energetic note. It is your daily positivity, so please do make sure that you stay with us across all social media platforms because everything that we do, we would like to engage with you. We are Vooka Breakfast Show on each and every social media platform. If you want to reach out to us using the number, please dial 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. Before the break, we said we're going to hop on a conversation of knowing your rights. Are you, as a South African citizen, well versed when it comes to knowing your rights? And what are legal ways and legal steps that you can take in order for your things to work out very well for you? So right now on the table, we are joined by a powerhouse of experience, someone whose journey runs through the heart of our country's history, from studying at Wits during the dark days of apartheid to becoming one of the most respected attorneys in family law and civil litigation. Today, she's the founder of Blake's Attorneys and a registered trainer in litigation skills. Has spent decades advocating for fairness, children's rights, gender equality, and access to justice. She's worked alongside history from Winnie Mandela to Dali Mpofu, from apartheid repression to constitutional democracy, and today she's here to break it all down with us. Family disputes, contracts, road accident funds, constitutional rights. We are going there. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us just take this moment to welcome Mrs. Leslie Blakes right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Good morning to you, and how are you doing this morning, Miss?
Good morning. I'm doing so well, and great privilege to be here with you guys today.
Yeah, and of course, looking forward to this, as I'm going to represent, people who are watching and listening right now. And I am somebody who comes and I don't know anything. I'm just an honest person who's trying to make an honest living in this country of ours, right? So, to someone who is watching and listening to you right now, can you just give them a brief introduction of what really you do?
So Blake Attorneys started in 1998 in Yeovil, and we do civil litigation. So I started out doing a lot of road accident fund claims. When my daughter was born, I said, I'm tired of spending my money on other people's problems, and I stopped doing road accident fund claims long time ago. I do a lot of car-related work, so I sue people who don't pay when they cause an accident if you don't have insurance. I have some clients who are taxi owners from back in the day in Yeovil, so I'm their insurance department by dealing with the matters when their drivers have accidents. And I do a lot of family law. I've started out doing divorces about 20 years ago, and now I do a lot of family law. So that would include things like children's court, domestic violence court, divorce court. A lot of disputes between parents happen long after the divorce because children get older, situations change. Being an unmarried mom myself, I was very well aware of what it's like to raise a child and have to negotiate things with the child, with the dad. And so, for unmarried parents, I think it was easier to be represented by someone who understood that journey. So that's a big part of what I do. And then lately, my insurance work has included claims against insurance companies. So you pay your insurance premium, you have the accident or you have the problem, they don't pay you. I'm the person that you go to. I've also done quite a lot of property stuff around sectional titles, those kinds of things. So I would say I'm the opposite of a corporate lawyer. I do everything that company lawyer type things don't do. Basically, I always say I fight with people about money.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah, very interesting. And I think for someone listening right now, they are just getting a gist of, how they can get hold of your services, right? And with what is happening right now in our country, I know people are just they are just everywhere with how they are feeling. But I remember, the last time we had a conversation with you, and you mentioned that, the children's court, that is where you are guaranteed justice, right? And which is something that we're going to get into now. But you mentioned family law, right? And looking at the family law realities, we're seeing that family law is something many of our listeners and people who are watching can relate to. So, divorces, child custody estates, what are the most common mistakes, ordinary South Africans make when it comes to family disputes, and what rights do they often overlook?
I think what we need to understand is that the regime, the total legal understanding around children's law changed fundamentally in 2010.
Yeah.
Up until then, we had what was called the Child Care Act, and that was passed in 1936. It was a very old piece of legislation.
Yeah.
And many South Africans would have been familiar with the social worker coming and taking your child away from you, and you never saw the child again, and you were a bad mother, and that was the end of the story.
Yeah.
In 2010, the law changed fundamentally, and the Children's Act 38 of 2005 only came into effect in 2010. Really created a whole new unified system, saying instead of saying there are children who are in the social welfare system and then there are ordinary children, and there's this line dividing those two. We then created one system, so one Children's Act that deals with Botabo, who goes to private school, and Bulindiwe, whose mother is living on the streets, and who a social worker should be removing the child and placing the child with someone who can really care for her.
Yeah.
Adoption, foster care, child and youth care centres, every kind of child care situation is dealt with in the child care, in the Children's Act. And it takes away from the situation of saying, I have a right to my child. And a lot of South Africans still think like that.
Yeah.
It's my child. I must have rights.
Yeah.
The system doesn't work like that anymore. Now the system says the child has needs. Who is going to meet the child's needs?
Yeah.
If that is the random lady, I had one matter where the mother dropped off the kids effectively with the child's best friend's parents, and those people, total randoms, ended up raising the kid for 3 years, both two children, because dad had left for overseas.
Yeah.
Mom was, I'm trying to find words to say this politely, somewhat crazy. She was extremely violent towards the father, had tried to kill him a few times, and she was very keen on maintenance money. So she was one of the few times in my life I've ever dealt with a woman who genuinely didn't give a damn about her children and wanted the money. She had left the kids with these people. Now, when you looked at these children, they went to a private school, they were outwardly everything going on, but the Children's Court could intervene in that matter. We didn't go the Children's Court route. We went the route of the High Court in that matter because we needed urgently to have those parents have rights. And they worked with the dad overseas so that he could pay them because they were exactly, because they were the people doing the actual work. And the elder daughter actually finished school with that family and then studied overseas and joined dad. And so it's not about who's got a right to the child. A child is not a thing that we can own anymore. The child is the person at the center of the inquiry. What does the child need, and how can the various role players in that child's life play a role in the child's life? So anybody can come to a children's court. In the old days, it was a parent, and that's it. The new system doesn't say grandparents have got rights, as in granny has got a right to go to mom's house and say, I don't like the way you're parenting my grandchild, because we know that way lies chaos. But what we do have is a scenario where anybody, even a teacher who has ended up concerned about the child, can bring a case to the children's court and ask for an investigation. And the magistrate is entitled to say, right, I'm going to ask a social worker employed by the government to do the investigation. Come back to us and say, this is what I've found. And the court has then got a very big menu of options to choose from, including things like mom must go to substance rehabilitation, dad must get alcohol abuse, and until that happens, they're not getting contact, for example.
Very, very interesting. And, when it comes to children's rights, and when you mention some of those things that people were not even aware of, because, I know guys out there, who claim that, no, this is my child, man. I don't know why I'm denied access, things like that. Because also tradition comes into place, and falls into place. And now we have to go through the route now of explaining how
damages,
exactly, and things like that. So we see that you have also trained, social workers on the Children's Act. If you could tell every South African parent one key right their child has that is often ignored or misunderstood, what would it be?
Sure, that's a difficult question. The child has, maybe this is the one that people struggle with a bit. In terms of Section 10 and Section 6 of the Children's Act, a child has a right for their view to be taken into account. So that's a big departure from the previous act.
Yeah.
We give the child a direct voice, but it's important, and I always say to the social workers, the child has a voice, not a choice. Because when we have a child who's 13 and dad is Disney dad, come to my house every weekend, let me buy you stuff, let's go to the Shisanyama, while I chat to my chummies, you can do whatever you like. If you smoke, that's fine, I'm not going to fuss about it. Or mom's house, you've got to be doing homework, you've got soccer practice on Saturday morning, etc. The child is obviously going to choose Buchomi dad because fun. So it's not appropriate to give a child the choice. It's important that parents don't try and bribe the child and say, well, if Johnny chooses me, then I'm going to be where the child lives, because the court is not going to take that approach. The court is going to look at the best interests of the child, as in who is providing for the child's psychological well-being. And so, the buy the child option, I think, is something that parents should appreciate is not necessarily going to work. Because I have a lot of parents who come to me and say, when does the child get to choose? 18. When they're not a child. That's when they get to choose.
Very interesting. And we know that each and every time when things like this arises, in our family members, one thing that we think of is access to justice, because the word out there is, guys, justice is not served. Even if you can go to court, even if you can hire a lawyer, you will never get the justice that you need, right? And we see that many South Africans right now, they kind of fear the cost of lawyers and court cases, right? So from your years of practice, what practical advice would you give an ordinary person who feels powerless but they need the justice?
So 2 elements. There's a lot of legal assistance out there if you earn under 7,500 a month. So that's sort of the cutoff for pro bono, cutoff for legal aid, lots of things. So if you are under that level, actually you're quite well served. You can go to the legal aid clinic. You can go to probono.org, which is the organization which attorneys themselves have created. And all attorneys have got to do 20 hours of work per year for free. We're one of the only countries in the world that requires that. It's great for attorneys because it means that when my brother-in-law says that he wants me to do work for free, I can say, sorry, Chumi, I've already got to do 20 hours a month, a year free. I can't add extra free time for you. Pro bono will refer you to an attorney who's in your area and has the expertise that you need. There's attorneys.co.za, which is a private list of attorneys we sign up to, we pay to be on that list. And if you're concerned about whether the person you're going to see is an attorney, you can phone the Law Society, give them the name, and they will tell you whether we are on the list or we aren't. So my highlights are: 1, don't go to someone who's not an attorney. Because a lot of these guys, bless them, they do their law degree. and they've never practiced. And to be honest, you don't know anything at that point.
Yeah.
I can sit there at that point and spout a load of nonsense that I've learned, but I've no idea how that works in practice.
Yeah.
So best I don't do that. So when you sign up for all these pay a few bob and what we're getting you is but Charles, who graduated last year and can't get a job. And unfortunately, Bo Charles, he's not very useful.
Yeah.
Rather go and spend the money and get 1 hour of advice from a real attorney and then do it yourself thereafter.
Yeah.
The aspect of civil law that you wanted to talk about, I think, is so important. So civil law is everything that doesn't involve criminal law. Okay? So you and your colleague enter into a loan agreement. She lends you $5,000 this month, and then you just, forget that you owe her this money and you don't pay it back.
Yeah.
There's an aspect of that which is criminal in the sense that you have defrauded her by not repaying her. You will not get a police officer to prosecute that in this country because it's quite hard to get them to do anything.
Yeah.
Number two, you have a right in civil law to enforce the terms of your contract. So any time you are going to enter into a contract, and I don't just mean a written contract, I mean when you are going to part with money to buy something, think about whether it is significant enough to spend some time on just a 1 hour opinion from an attorney.
Yeah.
I'm talking about especially things like lease agreements, not so much our residential ones, but when you enter into a commercial lease agreement, you buy something significant. Those kinds of things, sometimes it's worth paying to have an attorney have a look at it. Even things like if you have a business and you've got a fleet of cars, now you're going to get insurance for those vehicles.
Yeah.
Before you make a final choice, maybe send that contract to an attorney and say to them, this is the kind of work I do. I travel out of the country with these trucks, or I load sand on the truck, or whatever it is that is specific, or I hire a different driver all the time.
Yeah.
This is where I am. This is here's the contract. Tell me if I'm going to have a problem. Rather than you enter into the contract, the day you lose 200,000 Rand, now, they've turned around and said, oh, no, but you didn't tell us that this was a business agreement. It was a business use of the car or something of that sort.
Yeah.
So those are the sorts of places where, civil law is important, and it's important that we read the contract. Just read the contract.
Yes.
And don't think that you're asking a stupid question ever. Ask the stupid question.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these companies are making a profit out of you not asking the stupid question, which is actually the essence of what that contract problem is.
Yeah.
So, that'd be my advice. Ask the stupid question.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you mentioned that, because someone out there, they are in a contract and they don't even know what to do when the contract is breached. And it's like, okay, actually we had an agreement with this person, and I think it's something that is between the two of us, and we can't now, involve the next person.
So I wanted to know, can I make a hypothesis when it comes to residential lease agreements, just to give a bit of insight to our listeners and our viewers, especially for those who are probably out here in the township and renting. So an example is something that happened with a neighbor of mine. So they live in a family house. They rented it out and chased the other siblings, the other grandkids out of the house. So now the one that's left, they renovated it and decided to lease out the house and to turn it into a commune. Now the tricky part about it is that she literally chases the tenants out whenever she wants. And there is no lease agreement. So can you please let the listeners and viewers know what are the dangers of not having a residential lease agreement despite living in the townships, for instance, for incidents where you have the landlord can literally just chase you out at any given time because they know that they do not have a contract with you.
Guys, I hate to, this is probably not what anybody wants to hear, but I always say you don't come to a lawyer to hear good news. You come to hear the way it is. So that's what I'm here to tell you. A lease agreement doesn't have to be in writing, should be in writing, preferably, so that you agree terms. But a lease agreement gives you only possession of a piece of property for as long as you are paying the rent. As soon as you stop paying the rent, if you're 5 days late, there are some landlords that are like that. Townships, anywhere, Sandton, Bryanston, same stuff. As soon as you stop paying that rent, your right to occupy has terminated because you're in breach of the agreement. So whether you've got a written lease agreement or you haven't got a written lease agreement, it's not going to help you. You didn't pay, you ain't got the right to stay there. Find another place to stay. And in some ways, it's actually useful to accept that. Because where I've seen people lose a lot of money is saying, I'm going to stay here, I'm going to defend my position, but I'm not going to pay the rent. So now you've created in yourself a massive insecurity because the very basis of your daily life is under threat all the time. That lives at the back of your head. You know, never mind the legal side of it, it's psychologically disturbing to you. And you know, sometimes you just have to say to yourself, and trust me, it's not like I haven't been here. I can't afford this. Let me find somewhere that's cheaper. And if you are in a position with your landlord where you know, like, I've just lost my job, I don't know what's going to happen next month, but one thing I know is I don't have the money for the rent. It's better sometimes to say to them and write a letter and say, my circumstances have changed. I will be in breach of this lease agreement. I would like to give you a month or 2 months notice so that you can find another tenant. Because if they've found another tenant, they haven't suffered damages, so you don't owe them any money. So you've saved yourself the money by saying, okay, I'm going to be here for 2 months. It means you've got time to plan, find another whatever. Whereas when you say, I'm going to dig into this little trench here, I don't have a legal right to live here. I'm not the owner of the property. No lease agreement is going to give you the right to remain indefinitely. A lease is an uncertain legal right. It is a mere right of occupation. And South Africans, especially black South Africans, have, you know, great difficulty in letting go of a piece of property. And I always say to my clients, Joburg has got lots. It's not like you're not going to find a place to stay. I have ladies in my divorces, often the ladies, and sometimes the gents. No, but I want to keep the property because it's my children's security. No, Wena, it's not your children's security. Your children feel secure because they feel loved by their mother. Whether you live in this particular 4-bedroomed house in Bryanston or you go and move to a 2-bedroom in Weltevreden Park, those children are going to be equally happy if you are happy. But we tend to hold on to this, it's my land thing. It's this is Joburg, Baba. It's not your land. It's nobody's land. We weren't here. You know, so with leases, my advice is get the heck out. And being a landlord, you know, unfortunately, that's one of the first mistakes that the ANC made, right? They passed a piece of legislation called the Prevention of Illegal Eviction Act. Now, when they passed that act and when they drafted it, it was with the understanding, and most of the people in Parliament understood, that it was there to prevent farm evictions and those kinds of evictions where people who'd been there a long time would be. However, as happens in real life, this matter came before the courts and some judge, who shall remain nameless, decided that it applied to all rentals, everywhere. So now you're a landlord, you have taken out your bond, you're paying your 10 grand a month on the bond, you've put John and Sarah into your house, they're paying you 12 grand, kiss up, everything's lekker. Prevention of Illegal Eviction Act comes along and says, oh, you've now got to go through a 2-stage process in court to determine how to serve on John and Sarah. We know how to serve on John and Sarah. We don't know how to serve on 5,000 people on one piece of property whose identity we don't know. That's what the PIE should have been for. All it needed was for the ANC to pass an amendment to the act that said the Prevention of Illegal Eviction Act applies to these kinds of places. That was 20 years ago. They haven't done that. So now there's no incentive for you to go and rent out your property because, you know, how do you get rid of a tenant? I know people who've spent 40, 50, 100,000 rand in court trying to get rid of a tenant who just sits there. I mean, it's a stupid thing to do for the tenant because they're just running up a bill they can't. But people do it. So it's one of those things where that's an economic drag on our economy because of a legal choice that was made. But yeah, here we are, 20 years down the line. Nobody's fixed it. Just saying.
Yeah. And, you've mentioned that you have had some of the experiences when it comes to divorce, with men and women. And that brings us to the family law and divorce, because, that can be very emotional, for families. So how do you approach cases like these ones or custody with sensitivity and professionalism?
I think some of my colleagues would say that I'm not a very sensitive person. I try to, understand people's journeys, because there are many people who come to you saying, how fast can we do this? And I say, we can't do it fast.
Yeah.
It's not a fast process, because the process of unraveling yourself from this partner that you've been part of their lives for a long time is not an overnight thing.
Yeah.
I've had one or two clients. One guy found out his wife was having an inappropriately close relationship with his best friend, and he literally walked out of the restaurant they were having supper in and said, I never want to talk to that so-and-so again, and he never did. They had no children.
Yeah.
They were married out of community of property, so I could do that. But for the vast majority of people, it's a process. And be kind to yourself and come and see me early in the process. The fact that you've seen a lawyer doesn't mean that you're committed to anything.
Yeah.
It just means that you are well advised about what the options are. And I always say to clients, start by shopping. Shop for what you think your future life might start to look like. Look for the solution, because family law is a solutions-based thing. I don't hand out noddy badges to say you're a perfect mommy and a perfect daddy, because I don't have perfect mommies and daddies. And I don't have perfect husbands and wives. If one of you has been playing an away game, sometimes there's a reason for that, because things are not happy at home. Or because you're not getting any at home. If you don't milk that cow, someone else will come and milk your cows for you, ladies. I just want to tell you that is how it is. And then, so there's not a noddy badge for you're a good guy, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
That's not how family law works. Except that if you're going to break up a marriage, the one thing you're not going to have is the same financial security. You're now going to be running two separate households with the same money that you were running one household on before. So there's going to be financial pain, irrespective. And walking clients through how to make that work is really what it comes down to.
So, with this happening, what are some of the misconceptions people have about divorce law?
They want to believe that if I've been a good girl, I'm going to get extra money. I want to tell you, ladies, that is not the case. Or gentlemen.
Yeah.
If you prove that she is a woman of poor moral fiber, shall I say, that she has been playing an away game, this does not make her a bad mother. This does not mean you pay less maintenance. It does not mean that you don't have to sell your house and give her half. So the idea that you're going to sort of win a divorce is a misconception. Nobody wins a divorce.
Divorce party.
Some people have divorce parties, and some people have good reasons to have divorce parties. Because even being poorer, but without that drama in their lives, is worth having the party. So I take away nothing from those clients of mine who have the divorce party.
So I have a question that have, of course, been posed to you. So in a GBV-related case where malicious damage to property is involved, what legal options are available if the victim's main priority is to have their property replaced and for the accused to receive rehabilitation instead of jail time? The accused is currently awaiting a bail hearing. Is it possible to influence the court's decision or propose an alternative resolution, such as a restitution or referral to a rehabilitation program?
Ladies, we need to be very careful that the one thing I cannot give you as a lawyer, and nobody can give you, is a better husband. You cannot make an, with respect, asshole into a nice person by law, nor can you achieve Mr. Nice Guy by going to court.
Yeah.
So part of what you have to do is accept what they are. Having said that, GBV cases, when they're being prosecuted, there is a standard procedure on the table in most magistrates' courts that says that you can refer those matters to mediation.
Yeah.
However, in the last year, because of the GBV crisis and the awareness raising around it, prosecutors have been advised that mediation is inappropriate in matters of domestic violence. And you must understand that these are skewed power relations.
Yeah.
When you've been controlled, beaten, what have you, by a man for a long time, you're not in a position to sit down with him and have a negotiation with him as if you're equals. The other difficulty, and I hear it in the question that person is asking, they want to remain financially able to depend. When your mission, your journey, your place now is to stand on your own feet. Part of the journey of GBV is to remove your agency, your belief in yourself, your capacity to support yourself. So you'll often have men who are extremely controlling cut off their wives' careers, career options, choices, make her more and more dependent. But you will also have some women who are by nature dependent, who want to be dependent, who don't want to make the hard choices, who don't want to push themselves, who don't want to accept that they are responsible for themselves. And one of the hardest things that I had to learn to do as a lawyer was not to rescue people. You know, I had one matter where I drove into town, met her outside the door, took her to a secret location, only to find a year down the line or 2 years down the line that actually she's still very much financially intertwined with him, because ultimately for her that makes sense, and she just couldn't see herself creating value for herself.
She was not ready for financial freedom.
Exactly. And it's very important to not take away the victim's agency by saying, let me give you the solution. Here's a place to stay, here's money, here's this, here's that. And yes, for a short period of time, sure. But it's also about learning to take control of your own life again. And have confidence in yourself again. And that takes time. So these things are not overnight. But of course, the solution is the domestic violence interdict. You know, there are, every single court in the country can give you a domestic violence interdict. All that can do is stop the guy from doing X or Y or Z. It is so unlikely that you will get a court order that makes him pay, even if he paid last month. Yes, I know it's in the Act. Yes, I know it's on the form. But when I try and get it out of a magistrate.
Powerful. And we see that you have worked on gender equality issues since the 1990s, right? And do you think the Constitution, promises to women have translated into lived reality? Where are we, still failing women in our legal and social systems?
Gosh, I think our Constitution has really empowered women. I know this might not be a popular thing to say, but honestly, I think that the changes in our lifetime have been massive. Our mothers and our grandmothers had very few financial opportunities. I think my mother still needed consent from my father to open a bank account. She had to go to 3 different doctors before anybody would give her sterilization after she had 2 children and said she didn't want more. But my dad thought, 3 is a nice number. And he quite fancied another one, so he didn't feel like signing it. No doctor would give her a sterilization at 26 after 2 children. We take for granted that we have autonomy over our own bodies. We take for granted that we can choose to have an abortion. I'm not getting into how difficult it is or whether it's a great choice. I mean, it's not something you want to do. But those things we didn't have. So we have come an enormously long way. And when I look at women climbing the heights of corporate South Africa, in South Africa, I think sometimes we don't really realize how far we are ahead of some other countries. I go to other countries and there's still quite a lot of sense that women shouldn't be trying so hard, sort of thing. Whereas I think in South Africa we accept that a lot of moms are single moms, paying all the bills, making their way in the world, and that that's fine. There's no I don't, as a single mom. I know there were probably some people who tried to shame me. I was like, well, I'm sorry.
It is what it is.
What it is.
Yeah.
And we have moved past that. As we don't have that shame culture anymore. And much as I don't think that not having a dad is a good thing, I think having a dad in a home is a fantastic thing and would be great. But for many of us, that choice was not something on the table. So, we are, I think as South African women, we are doing phenomenally. Yes, we had a history of a very violent culture, both in the Afrikaans community. Men told their wives what to do and wives had to do it. Done, no discussion. Very patriarchal way of looking at things. And on the other side of the fence, in the black community also. To my shock, in the Indian community, one of my magistrates once told me a story. He was a black magistrate and he was quite surprised when they sent him to Lenasia domestic violence court, and he said, this man appeared in front of me and said, you can't stop me from hitting my wife. How will I discipline anybody in my family if you don't let me hit my wife? It's unnatural.
Wow.
He said as a black man he expected that Indian communities wouldn't have that problem, only to find that there's a culture of extreme violence in the family. In the coloured community, there was this history of ek sê jou sleg, jy's 'n sleg, and once you were a sleg mother, wife, your children would be taken away. You almost disenfranchised. You were just written off. And very easy to find yourself on the wrong side of that line. Have a drink too often. On one occasion, and find yourself delegitimized. Those things are not part of our legal system anymore. We don't face the same issues. So I think we do have to acknowledge that we've come a long way as a society, and the Domestic Violence Act is one of the best pieces of legislation in the world around this issue.
Powerful. And of course, before we let you go, just have some few last questions for you. But this one, is mainly based on what we see on the movies. As a lawyer, have you ever had any death threats?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Really? Then how do you handle that situation where
I have rude words.
You have what?
I have
rude words.
Rude words for that.
That I can believe.
I would say, if you as an attorney are going to take seriously every idiot that threatens you, the Lord is my shepherd. I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
I shall not fear no evil.
My rod.
Yeah,
I've sung that one to myself before some things a couple of times in my life.
Yeah. So, through your practice, what do you think right now in South Africa is the most burning issue?
Our economy. I think we have to set aside the socialist nonsense and accept that in any society there are people who have a burning desire and ability to make money. Let's leave them alone to do that. Let's stop telling them who they must hire, what they must do, where they must do it, how they must do it. Let's let them make money. And then they'll hire people. I always say we created this system where it's very difficult to fire somebody. But what we've done is then put a noose around the neck of the guy who's hiring it. So let's take my business. Let's say I hire someone who turns out to be absolutely useless. They don't answer the phone. They're rude to everybody who calls me. They never make appointments. So my business gets worse and worse and worse. But it's very difficult to fire someone for those kinds of reasons. It's a long process. It costs money. It takes time. If I was allowed to just fire them, would there be one job less? No, because I'd have to hire someone else to do their job. Someone who was interested in the job. Someone who did want to do that job at that price. And the person I fired wouldn't have a job, but somebody else would. So we've created this system where we are keeping people in a job which we think was doing our economy a favor, but all it has done is make our businesses less and less efficient. Whereas we could say, you know, in America, I can just say, thanks, thank you for your service, please leave.
Yeah.
I don't have to explain what I don't like about you or what you didn't do right.
Yeah.
Are we seeing in America that doesn't have a functioning economy? No. We're seeing in America which makes a ton of money. It makes more money than any other economy in the world. I'm not saying we should be that brutal about it. I mean, I think South Africans expect a certain amount of checks and balances.
Yeah.
But I think if we don't start walking back to sanity and walking away from the ANC's crazy social experimentation, we are going to find ourselves broke.
True.
Just at the time that all the children, all our born-frees born in the wake of freedom, come to the part of their lives where they need money.
Yeah.
And that is a recipe for a revolution. No society can afford to have all the talented, skilled young people sitting there with no prospect, no hope. And that we've got to change. But I think South Africans are far more capable of change than people give them credit for. You know, when I said before the last election, I said South Africans are going to gooi the ANC such a snot clap in this election. People said to me, no, it won't happen.
That won't
blah, 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 blah,
happen, man, yeah.
And here we are, 40%. When I say I don't think anybody is going to vote for the ANC to run Johannesburg who lives in Johannesburg, I don't see, the people who are there voting guarantees are 60 plus.
Yes.
A lot of those people aren't in Joburg anymore. I don't care if they carry on running Mpumalanga. If you want the ANC in Mpumalanga and you want what they've done in Mpumalanga, carry on. But for those of us in Joburg and Gauteng, maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, there is. With that being said, how can our people who are watching and listening right now reach out to you if they need any legal assistance?
Just to understand that they need to reach out to an attorney, not me. There's only one of me.
Okay.
There's attorneys.co.za, and that will list all the attorneys in your area and the attorneys who do the sort of work that you need done. I have a website, blakeattorneys.co.za, and on that website I have some videos around getting maintenance forms done, filling out a domestic violence interdict, that kind of thing. So trying to provide people with some information to allow them to help themselves. But my contact details are also on there, and there's a form where you can tell me what it is that you want me to assist with. Sometimes I can help with that.
Thank you so much for your time. This was purposeful and lawful, of course. And
we hope we can have you again. Hey?
Yeah.
Because it feels like there's so much more that we're still here to discuss. And I feel like we didn't even go through all of the questions. So
I
hopefully.
thought those questions were a bit ambitious myself.
But thank you so much for your time. With that being said, Vooka Nation, a huge thank you to our guest, attorney and legal educator Leslie Blake, for sharing her wisdom and journey with us. What we're going to do right now is to take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to be in conversation with Bobby Nkwana, who is a positive, authentic, energetic, and a hardworking and intelligent woman who is very passionate about developing, building, enhancing, and empowering human mindset to function to its maximum potential. So do make sure that you stay tuned for that conversation after this short break.
Okay. Hey. Emotional trauma with a prima donna, gasping when she see the commas, laughing to conceal the monsters. I feel like Kanye when he lost his Donda. When my father left me, you were there to heal the pain I conquered. I never pay you back for what that meant to me. Some scars just fade physically, but never leave mentally. It's where we're people spiritually connected turn to enemies, and memories turn to villain origin accessories. And I'm the bad guy yet again. Spent so much time trying to find who the victim is. It's probably both of us, but neither one is giving in. So here we go again, throwing punches at each other's ribs. Gunshots sting like a buckshot. The pain hits deep, it's like my heart becomes a blood clot. Love dots, you're unblocked. Just to get this message, hope you get it on your bus stop. And then the bus crash, your true intentions unmasked. This should have been a fairy tale ending, but you uncast. I know it hurts bad, but you know you deserve that. We'll never have the life we once had. Hey. Emotional trauma with a prima donna. Hey. Yeah. Emotional trauma with you. I got no problems with you. I can never get away. I wish my brain had a hard drive that I could reset. Wish I made the right decisions, but it's hard to reject. Moving on, but you got me on both sides of the fence. Leave your mark forever, that's without a scar on the flesh. Wish that I was sick, wish didn't hit the bar when we met. And spend my money time with you just to be in this debt. See you happy somewhere else while I've been filled with regret. Trying to find someone to blame, but it's just causing effect. I thought that was the truth, cause nothing lasts forever, that's except for me and you. Young and unaware of all the shit that we would do. Try to make it out alive, but didn't make it through. Your parents probably hate me, but my mom still always asks if we're getting back together, even though it ended bad. Forward thinking, haunted by the habits of my past. Precious moments with you, girl, you even met my dad. And any girl after you won't ever have the pleasure. So I guess it's part of why it's hard for me to ease the pressure. So many years, so many times I can't remember. Fear I'll lose them all forever. Hey, yeah. Emotional trauma with a prima donna. Yeah. Emotional trauma with you. I got my problems with you, but I can never get away. I can never get away. So I can never get away. So I can never get away. Let's go hit Lennox. Another week, another knockout. A different city. My partner whip a 7-4 now. He think he Wimby, but I'ma ride his Chevy Mally until it's empty. And Pastor, don't take dirty money. I like you filthy. She my Achilles. I'm out for millies, not just for memories. Been on a mission, did I mention it before? I can't be slipping till I'm reaping what I sow. Can you meet me where I'm at before I hit the top? How many years I put in this just trying to make it pop? I had a purpose for they had opinions, but what hurts is when they close and know the most will speak on you the worst. I reminisce like every day cause I miss what it was. Try not to get caught in my memory and stuck in the mud. I used to drown it out with liquor, I kept me a buzz. Binging and faded to that same song, missing love. New motivation, now my eyes, they been back on the prize. Can't go back where I was in my mind cause it don't bring me shine. I pop out time to time to show face and give my people love. That's all I got and now I won't waste it cause ain't in us here in this place enough. I know you like the way I pop out. Let's go hit Lennox. Another week, another knockout. A different city. My partner whip a 7-4 now. He think he Wimby, but I'ma ride his Chevy Mally until it's empty. And Pastor, don't take dirty money. I like it filthy. She my Achilles. I'm out for millies, not just for memories. Been on a mission, did I mention it before? I can't be slipping till I'm reaping what I sow. Keeping my rearview mirror empty when I'm riding out, cause ain't never risking this. How I'ma break bread with them, but my pockets down in my head.
Good morning.
That's why I gotta keep my hustle strong and not let them breathe too long. Never know who needs you. Reaping without giving it seed to. I'm just seeing light when it's been years. Don't make no sense to me sometimes, but time and all it is. Perfected patience, tame my ego when I kept the pedo. This poetry is still my passion. Shout my nigga Theo. I had the vision.
And yes, of course, Mzansi, I hope that you're still on the wave. You know, you are with us with everything that makes your day to be on that high energetic note, man. If you're on the other side of the law, hey, hangazi, because there's something big. And of course, the things that entail and the justice system, it seems to be working out for other people out there, right? If you're thinking of whatever idea you are having, you know, that quick get rich quick scheme system. No, man. We have people who are, doing the work, man, in the space of law. People like Leslie Blake, they would, come into your neck, chief. You would find yourself attending court cases while you thought, we don't have a justice system. It's there, it's existing. It's the same joke that we keep.
What I like is that it's there, it exists,
there.
and it works. As she's proven right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, Uguti, as long as you are well versed into what channels you can take, and of course what is legal in South Africa, then you know what, you can position in yourself in a way where the law actually works for you, because you know how it does work for you. So interesting conversations, insightful, and of course thought-provoking and compelling, right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. That's what we've got for you. And of course, going next into our next guest, man, Mind Basket.
Yeah.
Something that's, very close to my heart. And of course, as a mental health advocate, a conversation that I have been waiting for.
Yeah. So I just want to confirm if Bobingwana, can hear me right now so that we can begin with this conversation. She is online. Okay, she can hear us, so can
I can hear you guys.
Can you please, Bobby, if you can hear me, switch on your cam so that we can start with our conversation we are about to have here with you. And with that being said, man, Asia, Mind Basket, it's the things that we always do, in our day-to-day life. Last week it was Mindfulness Day, celebrating the day of mindfulness, and I'm glad that you are here to share your experience with us in terms of you being in the work generally, because you wear so many hats. But okay, with that being said, she is here with us, and I'm just going to ask you, to turn your phone into landscape mode so that we can get that full picture of you, please.
Let me try.
Yeah, so I get it. There's that option when you open your data or Wi-Fi. There's an auto rotation option right there. You just press it immediately. When it's highlighted, you turn your phone, and then boom, you have your full landscape mode.
Let's see. Ooh.
Technology.
Hey, technology. I'm bad at technology. I'm good at but not technology.
Okay, while you trying that, I'm just going to, just to invite our people who are watching right now on YouTube to join the conversation on YouTube by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. I see Mamikala joined the chat, and she said, "Good morning, Vooka Nation. Hashtag Sivugile. Hashtag Happy Wednesday. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show." Good morning to you, Mami. I hope that you are having a wonderful day, and of course, that kickstart to the day ahead of you is given right here. Then Tumza 6 are Sanbonani Mavuka, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Sivugile. Interesting conversation this morning, appreciating the time y'all taking to dissect this colonial concept. Donkey, please, man. Thanks to you, man, for noticing that, because there are a lot of issues in our country that we need just to dissect, and colonial one is the one that we need to get deeper into. So are you winning, Bobby? So you have to physically.
I'm trying, but I don't think I'm winning.
So did you switch on the auto rotation?
Does it? I don't even see it.
Okay,
here.
I don't know if you can see my screen right now.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Which one are you using?
Yeah, it's on, eh?
Yeah. So after switching it on, you will see right here that. Okay, let me just try to get focus right here. Yeah, there we go. You see it, right? So on my phone, there's auto rotate. Immediately when it's on, I'm going to turn my screen, and this is what it's going to do.
Oh, I get you. So I need to turn it.
Yes, there we go. Then please, just be in the center, and we want to see your whole face.
Is it fine?
Yeah. So please be mindful when you talk, because sometimes we can see your forehead only when you talk and things like that. Wabo. Yeah, right now.
Okay.
Yeah, it is fine. We can see you clearly right now. And yeah, of course. A very good morning to you once again. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, good morning. I am blessed and wonderful. And how are you, team? That was a great show. I was listening to it. It was amazing.
Thank you so much, man. We aim to please. And of course, we aim to be as informative and insightful as we can, bringing through people like yourself, man, who will give value back to the Vooka Nation.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having
Yeah.
me. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, happy, of course, to have you here. And with that being said, if somebody right now is watching and listening, can you just please take them a brief introduction of what you really do?
Oh, let me start first of a bit of who I am. My name is Bobinkwana. I was originally raised in the rural areas, the humble beginnings. I don't forget that, because that's the reason why I'm here today. I respect that so much. So I am a mental health specialist. I'm a neuro life coach. I'm a TV presenter. I'm a radio presenter. I'm one of the South African Heroes Awards second runner-up winner 2024 and the nominee 2025 for women empowerment. So I love humans, I love life, and yeah, life loves me back in a nutshell.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah, we see, and when you mentioned that, you know what, you wear so many hats, man. Presenter, mental health specialist, life coach, and more. So please, just walk us through what inspired you to merge media with mental health and empowerment work.
Firstly, let me start to where I was raised before I begin to just to explain how media emerged with what I do. You know, as a young woman raised in the rural areas where there is no opportunities, where there is no a lot of positivity, and I believe that each and every person has that inner, you know, angel that always sparks them. You know, there's something greater than me that I need to follow. So when I discovered that myself, that's when I said, you know what, how can I share this with the world? And we had a passion of speaking, a passion of, you know, motivating, a passion of just making somebody's day better. So that's when, because I was born with the presenting, you know, speaking talent, then I was like, okay, which means actually the gift that I have, I was meant to have it because I have a talent to support that. And then I wondered, what is the easy way to talk to people? You know, different from speaking to them directly. What is the easy way that you can really reach them? Because people love radio, people love TV. And yeah, because I think media, you know, communication is very powerful. And that's when I got into radio. I'm like, you know what, let me do what I do. Because even the shows that I do on radio, the shows that I do on TV, it's not about like, it's not a normal show. It's a show where I give tools, I give tips, I give resources on how people can really deal with their mental battles, because I believe everybody's having a mental battle every day.
True.
You know, it doesn't matter where you are, you've achieved your dreams, you're still starting, you're still a beginner. We're dealing with mental battles. As I'm sitting, I've got a mental battle that is going on in my head. As you're sitting there, there's something that you're fighting with in your head. So I decided, what can I do to actually help people to navigate around that? And that's when I was able to emerge what I do with the radio and just media as a whole.
Yeah. So how do all these roles complement each other, you know, in your mission to uplift and empower people?
I think it's obvious when the work that I do as assisting people, as healing people, as teaching people, most importantly, making people realize that they were destined for greatness, making people realize that they were born for a purpose. You know, everybody in this world doesn't just exist. So obviously, what is the easy way to do that? The easy way to do that is to communicate with people, you know, reach them in their own homes while they're waking up, while they still to find, you know, their spaces, still trying to figure it out. What am I going to do during the day? And that's radio, that's TV, that's speaking, that's going to the ground where people don't go, and just show people that, you know what, I hear you, I see you, you matter, you're important.
That is very powerful, and I'm glad that you just brought it back to us in terms of having that mental challenges. Because I think it's everyone that has it, because each and every day there's something that you're battling, there's something that you're trying to find solutions for. In which it brings us to the challenges, of course, that we are facing as human beings. So, in your experience, what are the most common mental health challenges people are facing today, especially the young ones, the youth?
Most of the people, when you ask them that, they will say to you it's either anxiety or depression. But I'm a kind of a person who digs deeper. Like, I go to the root. What causes anxiety and depression is the struggle for identity. Our youth are struggling with identity. The reason why they get involved in things, they're trying to escape who they want to be, or who they're trying to be, or who the society tells them to be, is the matter of identity crisis. When you don't know yourself, you go everywhere, you follow the wind. There's so many noises from the family side, from the community side, from the school side, from everywhere, that the youth really, really have to face every day. And I think that is something that we as adults, we don't understand. We always criticize them and say they don't want to do anything, they don't want to work, they don't want to become better. But then we don't ask ourselves, what are they going through? What are those challenges that they're going through every day? It's so difficult as a young person, not knowing who's saying the right thing, not knowing who to listen to. And at the same time, you're not being given advice. Nobody's holding your hand by criticizing you. So identity crisis is one of the highest mental battles that our kids are facing today, that they don't even have a solution to.
Yeah.
Man, Bobby, I hear you. So as somebody who aims to always be in or advocate for mental health matters, to bring awareness to mental health issues, and of course somebody who deals with mental health myself, I can understand and relate to much of what you're saying. It's not only youth who have an identity problem. We have now discovered that even as adults we have an identity problem, because statistics on male suicide rates at this moment are shocking. And also the conversations had around these issues, things like what is a man, what is a woman, and how can we coexist in society and co-create a society where we can all coexist without hurting each other. So now, as a life coach, right, how do you take people from survival mode to thriving? Because that's where I feel like most of middle class to lower class people are stuck.
The thing that is different about me is that I don't speak the same language as other people speak. I believe that when it comes to mental health, you can't run away from nature. You can't resist nature.
Yes.
The reason why, just before I answer that question, the reason why, I'm glad actually you mentioned that, because this is the thing that I'm busy with at this moment. The reason why men and women, we cannot be able to be in the same room and really, accept each other's differences and just celebrate each other, is because each and every person is struggling to understand who they are, what they want, and why they were born. And that is a purpose. If you don't understand your purpose, you will abuse yourself. And when you abuse yourself, you abuse the other person. So I always say, when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. You always try to abuse yourself and abuse the other person. When we go back to the roots and find out, why am I created? Why do I exist as this human being, either spiritually, either mentally, either physically? It doesn't matter. Why am I here? And the most important thing is, how do I function? Because we are irritated at each other because we don't know how we function ourselves. As a woman, I don't know how I function. So how am I expecting another man to know how I function? As a man, I don't know how I function. How am I going to expect another woman to know how I function? And at the end of the day, we get frustrated with each other because I don't understand myself. You don't understand yourself. And I'm trying to make you understand me and fill in the holes that I have within me that you can't feel. And only me, I can feel that. I don't know if it makes sense.
No, man, you're making a lot. You're speaking, sis. You're preaching. So preach. You're making a lot of sense.
So
Yes.
I think the more we are aware, the more we are conscious about this, knowing that it's not another person's duty to find my purpose. It's not another person's duty to find my joy, to find my existence, by me finding out why am I here? What is my mission that I need to accomplish? Because guess what? Each and every person, we're not here to exist. We're here to live. And if you don't know what is your mission, you will be frustrated with yourself. You'll be frustrated with the world. And that's when you see the gender-based violence. That's when you see people not getting along. That's when you see wars. That's when you see hate. That's when you see pain. Because we are frustrated with ourselves. Then we're just making other people the victims.
That is quite true, man.
Yeah.
It's almost as if these issues are just mirrors for what is deeply wrong within us, So it's a time we stop asking what is wrong with them and start asking what is wrong with me. So, as people like myself, right, I use platforms like the Vooka Breakfast Show, to speak on these issues and to bring awareness and, of course, explore the different ways in which they come up and come to be. So do you find that media and content creation can be tools for healing and awareness? And in your experience, how so?
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, there's AI. Like, things are getting easy now.
Yeah.
So everybody's always on the phone. So why not use that? I mean, to be honest with you, media is the most powerful tool that you can use to reach people, but also at the same time dangerous because it can either build people
or destroy them,
break people. So it's so important, and I don't want to lie to you, I'm so humbled to really know that because I didn't know about your guys' show. I'm really humbled and I'm really happy about it, that you guys are really opening up a space where people are free to speak. And what I love about your show is people have the ability for freedom of speech. Conversations that people don't want to talk about to talk about. I mean, the world is where it is today because people do not want to be honest. People do not want to, open their minds and have opinions. And that's why we're in a mental state, mental illness.
We're in a mental state capture.
Yes.
Good one.
Like, human beings are born to speak. You are born to express yourself. And the more you don't do that, the more you bottle up, the more you get frustrated, and the more you get sick physically, mentally, whichever way. So I really do believe that media is the most powerful thing you can use to reach people, and we need to use it properly. We need to use it properly because it will build somebody else's future. It will build the next generation. And just to see you guys doing this, I don't want to lie, it really means a lot to me.
Thank you so much, man. Compliments accepted, and thank you. That is the aim, right here, and we want to do more, and glad we're getting more people like yourself who are joining the movement and are becoming part of the cause. So I mean, now that we've spoken about that, it brings us to the question now that is like you're saying, it is a responsibility to be in media and then having the power or the influence to speak and encourage these kind of conversations and bring awareness to them, right? So how do you balance sharing mental health advice publicly while maintaining professional integrity and boundaries?
Oh, let me tell you something. Once you talk about mental health issues, that is the most difficult thing.
True, because it can be so personal and passionate.
It's very personal. It is very deep. But at the same time, I'm a person who believes in freedom of speech. Let me tell you that. I really, really believe the more you are open, the more you are free, the more you say things because most of the time people don't want to hear things, but they actually want to hear them. I don't know if it makes sense. Yeah, it's like when you say something, it already resonates with who they are.
Yeah.
So sometimes you might say, but why did she say that? But deep down within, you wanted to hear that. So that's where I go. That's where I come in, because the right people that really want to hear what I'm saying will hear it. And when it comes to mental health, it's like politics.
Yeah, true,
Right?
true.
Not everybody's gonna like you, so you have to know who you are, what you want, the difference that you, and the impacts that you really want to make, and go out there and do it. Because if you really look at what people don't want to hear or what people want to hear, then that's where you won't be able to really accomplish your mission to the best of your ability. You know, it's very, very important to always respect people, to always ensure that you create safe spaces for people to be heard, for people to be to feel seen, and for everybody, opening the same space for each and every person, because we all have different opinions. So as a mental health specialist, as a mental health activist, you need to wear different hats where you speak. You speak on behalf of each and every person, not just a certain group.
Wow, powerful, man.
It is very powerful, because right now, I will tell you that I think I'm having, that mental digestion, because whenever your stomach is not used to something, it acts up, right? And I think that this is some kind of things that people don't want to hear, and it's things that need to be addressed. I love how you mentioned that a lot of people they're suffering from identity crisis, in which is something that when they are trying to look at, they will just put a blame on the next person, then they move on with that's the thing. But I just love how you mention in terms of getting to the bottom of the root when it comes to mental health issues, and we see that you work across borders and cultures. How do you tailor your approach to empower diverse communities out there?
To be honest with you, the truth is all the cultures are the same. Let me tell you that. It's just that the values are different, but our roots are the same. We are spiritual, we are physical, we are mental, we are emotional, we are everything. At the end of the day, the higher power that you believe in, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how you call it. It is the higher power. It is a mirror of yourself. It is nature.
Yeah.
When I say it's the same, we all respond to nature. We may respond to it in a different language, but we respond to it with the same principal law. I don't know if it makes sense.
I hear you.
Whatever you give out there, it will come back to you. So the language that I speak accommodates each and everybody, because each and everybody with different cultures can resonate with it. And the most amazing thing about when you talk about nature, we are nature. The nature that you see around us, either being plants, the oceans, the mountains, the animals, they were all created within us. There's a feeling and a connection that we have with that nature. So whenever the language that I speak, or rather, let me rephrase that. The language that I speak will always connect with each and everybody, because that language, it's already built within you. So whenever, just like you're saying now, you're saying you're getting your stomach, what did you say?
Mental.
He's getting mental indigestion.
Exactly. You know why you get that? You're getting that because that information is already the drive that it's already existing within you. So if it's something that was not built within you, wouldn't feel that. So that's why sometimes when you speak something, somebody gets offended. It's because there's a certain part of themselves that still exists within them. I don't know if it makes sense.
No.
So
Washai eskonkosini nkosazana. But yes, you are making sense, my sister.
Yeah, let me make an example. I always say to people, whenever somebody speaks something or they say something, it offends you. It's not because it's offending you. It is because that part that you see in that person is within you, but you're trying to run away from it. If it's the same as when I talk about nature. Whenever you talk about mental health, it is a spiritual thing, because we're spirit beings. Doesn't matter if you're religious or you're cultural, we're spiritual beings. It will always resonate with you. So that is why the language that I speak, it's easy to reach each and every diversity.
Ma'am. You're dropping them gems, man. You're just dropping bombs. One way, the whole way. But man, this is why we love people like yourself who are quite expressive, who are passionate in the topics that we discuss, because then they can share the most valuable insight and, give the Vooka Nation, some thought-provoking, gems that they need to go back and reflect on. So, I mean, we've spoken now of how, well, I know for myself how community is such an integral part of my mental health journey, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
what role does community collaboration play in the healing and empowerment process?
Firstly, I would say, who's the community? The community is individuals, the community is families. How we are in the households, how we communicate in the households, how we treat each other in the households will always reflect in the workplaces, will always reflect at school, will always reflect in the community. So when you talk about community society, that is us. So if we are not able to be the people that create a safe environment for people to be themselves and have opinions and express their emotions and tell you if it's a no or a yes, because in families we don't know how to say no or a yes. And how are you going to say no or a yes at the workplace? How are you going to say no and a yes in the government institution? I mean, the community is not the government. The community is not on the street. The community is the families that we are building inside of our homes. The closed doors. That is community. So this for me will go to families, each and every individual. Ask yourself as an individual, what am I doing inside my family? What role am I playing? I'm not talking about the role of finances. I'm not talking about the role of the other external things. I'm talking about the role of you emotionally, mentally, spiritually. How are you contributing to your family spiritually? How are you contributing to your family mentally, emotionally? Are you a person who listens? Are you a person who hears? Are you a person who notices? Are you a person with compassion? Are you a person who's kind? Are you a person who's loving? Are you a person, most importantly, who's understanding? And all of those things will reflect when we go out there to chase dreams, to work, to do this, to meet and collaborate and socialize and all of that.
Powerful. And I just love how you just mentioned community, that a community is formed by us, because each and every time when there's a crisis, it's umphakathi, but we are the one who are causing these problems in our communities.
We say umphakathi because it's very difficult to look at ourselves in the mirror and say us.
Hore, I'm part of the problem. But can you share a project or initiative that had a significant impact on a community or a group of young people?
Oh, I can share so many. I'm a person who actually is very, very passionate with youth because I believe they're the future. There's a lot of projects that I do in high educational institutions, in high school, in primaries. And let me tell you something. I've realized that our youth are the most easiest people to deal with. I know when I say this, people will disagree, but they are the easiest people to deal with because what they want is to be heard and to be seen. That's it, not to be criticized. And I've realized that they are where they are because they feel like we criticize them. And I always say we criticize them, yes, but guess what? The drive, I always take kids and youth as a computer. The drive that is installed within them, it is the information that comes from us. So which means we are failures, not them.
Man, that is quite true.
So yes. And it's very difficult to accept that because it's always easy to point. But there is a project that I did at EduVos. It's a high institution in Midrand. And there's a project that I did at Rustenburg. It's a primary day. And I was just so amazed of how the feedback from the teachers when they said, you know what, our kids, our students, we always thought they were the most difficult people that don't hear. But since you started mentoring them, since you started doing sessions with them, now we can understand that those were kids that were really crying out loud. They are not as strong as we think they are. They're not as rough as we think they are. Behind that, it's a crying youth that says, I want you to hear me. I'm bleeding. There's a lot of pain. And all they need is just a hug. That's it.
Yeah.
Man, my sister, today, Yazin, you had to be on the show. right now, right, I mean, we're talking about other people, and I mean, you're giving us advice and essentially still talking about yourself, right? So now I want to know from you, what keeps you grounded and motivated through the challenges of such intense and emotional work? Because even me, you know, when people come to me with their issues and perhaps like I'm also facing some problems, then, you know, I need to create space where I can hold space for them while also acknowledging that I myself have my own challenges. So how do you do that?
I love that question, and I always get that question all the time. The truth is, once you are given that purpose to carry that heavy, I will call it, some people say the burden, but a heavy gift, it is so important to always find your connection and relationship with the higher power, because the higher power is the only thing that will fuel you, that will give you energy. And it's an everyday work. You know, you need to find a routine. I've got a very high routine that I need to be consistent in, that I really need to be dedicated to, because if I'm not, I'm going to drop the ball. And luckily, I'm a person who taught myself to be consistent, because consistency is everything. I mean, you can have the talent, you can have the skills and qualification, but if you're not consistent, trust me, you're not going anywhere. You're not going to be impactful. So when it comes to me, reading, praying, meditating, and most importantly, always remembering that I was created for a higher thing. Like, I just wish that we can tap more into our spiritual being than our physical being. Because when you tap more into your spiritual being, you will know that whatever you're given, you can handle it. That's why you were given it.
Wow, man.
So having a routine as a mental health activist, specialist, coach, it is so important. And that's why most of the time you see people not living the life that they're saying or preaching. Or that's when you see it's difficult for the person to say they are who they are. Because, you know, being a spiritual being and a physical being, this is two things that are fighting every day. The flesh says to you, I want this. The spirit says, I want this. So when you get to, you tap within your purpose, you tap within your higher power, you are able to live the life that you were supposed to live. And at the end of the day, to be honest, it actually becomes easier.
Man, what you're talking about, I recognize as cognitive dissonance, right? So, man, I myself have had, you know, to really look at myself and be like, TC, are you living the truth that you're speaking to other people, right? So, yeah, that is quite an important point that you've made right there, and thank you for making it. So, I mean, right now, you know, we're talking vision, right? So where do you see your work in the next 5 years? Any you know, impact or dreams or initiatives that you're working on that you want to see, you know, making bigger moves and doing bigger things out there in the space of mental health and essentially just personal development as a whole?
Oof, the vision is big. I don't want to lie to you. Sometimes it scares me.
It should.
The reason why I say that is because I don't want being only me doing that. I believe the greatest leader is the one that produces the leaders that are greater than her or greater than him. So my vision, it's not about me being out there, but it's about just ensuring that I tap into each and every person to realize that you are it, you know, in a different way. I believe each and every person here that is born, that is still going to be born, are supposed to be greater than anything. There is no a follower in this world. And I just wish people could believe that. And this is what I strive for, that people need to know everybody is a leader in their own way. Because when you see yourself as a follower, you will be in the same place. And that my vision is bigger, that people really need to tap into themselves to see that they are capable of really, really being the creator of their future. I mean, we are born from a creator. I mean, the system that you're using at this moment, the headphones you're using at this moment, somebody had a vision of them, somebody had an image of them in their own head before it was produced. So that should tell you that everybody was born a creator. It's either being an actor, it's either being a singer, it's either being a motivational speaker. We are given this gift, which are different. So my vision is ensuring that I reach each and every soul out there, each and every person, to realize that you do not need anybody to go forward. all you need, it's already within you, it's already built within you, just waiting for you to be on the right alignment to attract that and accomplish the mission that you were sent on earth to do.
Because it seems like you have a message today. Ngoba ngiyakubona, Sisi, like, you know, this is something you're passionate about. I love it. I love it because, you know what, I'm seeing a relation in you that I recognize within myself. So what's one message you hope every listener and watcher today to walk away with?
My message would be, we are frustrated. We are frustrated because we don't know who we are. We are frustrated, and people end up being the victim of our frustration. We end up hurting each other. But the truth is, the problem we have is the problem we have with ourselves. We need to learn to take time. We need to learn to reflect, to pause, and have a stillness. You know, stillness is the most important thing. There's just too many noises in our heads, too many noises out of us, outside our heads. I would say internally and externally. But the key, and you know, the secret is for you to just stay still for 3 months, stay still for 6 months, figure out who you are. Let's stop rushing. We are rushing because we are scared of the future, and the reason why we're scared of the future is because we are not preparing for today. But if you pause and reflect and prepare for today, you're not gonna have fear of the future. You're not gonna hurry. And the reason why we hurry is because we're trying so hard to run away from our past. So the moment we try to connect with our past, we will learn from our past to know what is it that I need to improve, what is it that I need to develop, what is it that I need to, you know, to change. But the more we run from our past, we're not going to learn from that. So it's very important to connect with our past, to love our past, to have a relationship with our past, live for today, be present today. And when you're present today, you're not going to run towards the future, because the more you run towards the future, the future is also running. So whatever you're resisting, you're persisting. So let's try to always accept challenges. You know, I believe the greatest things were created within obstacles and challenges. Let's not run away. When you run away, you're creating a distance. Let's not force this life. Let's try to align with it and attract everything that.
Ooh, power to you, sister, and power to everybody who is going to receive that message. Something that actually came into my mind when you were talking about that was the quote from the Bible: "Be still and know that I am God."
Oh my God.
Be still and know that I am God, man. And that is why I encourage that everybody to be mindful and intentional. Like the beginning of the week, there was a quote that I cited on the show where it was said that intention is the only true religion. So, you know, thank you so much, Bobby, for being a voice of change, and a very opinionated voice at that, but a voice that also, you know, speaks a lot of sense and also provides so much empowerment and support to society and, of course, to the Vooka Nation at large. So, I mean, how can, now that, you know, we've had this empowering and insightful conversation, you know, to close off, we would like to know, how can our audience support or get involved in the work that you're doing by letting them know, of course, your handles, your social media, so that they can go and look at the work that you do?
Thank you so much. You know, it really, I'm even smiling now. It's so amazing whenever I see a woman who really, you know, has a passion to develop others, because like I said, I have love for humanity. Like I cannot ignore when somebody does great. It makes me feel good. And I would love to, you know, I would love for you to attend some of my events, and maybe you never know, we might do greater things. So I I am available on social media. I have a website which is Mind Talk and Healing. It's one word: www.mindtalkandhealing.co.za. I'm available on Instagram. I'm available on Facebook and TikTok. That is Bobinkwana Tsahani, and from there we can communicate. I have offer sessions for women that are willing to become life coaches, for those that are trying to develop themselves, discover their purpose, transformation and all that, healing and all kinds of personal, physical development and all that. So all the informations is there.
I'm definitely one of those people that cannot wait for the next initiative or program that you will have. And of course, let us know right here at the Vooka Breakfast Show how we can get involved, because we're always open for media partnerships and of course involvement in community impact work. And of course, thank you so much, because I think we will be doing a series with you in October, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. So Coach Bobby will be perhaps coming back on the Vooka Breakfast Show. And, if you are tuning in right now, you can start putting in those questions, thinking about what are the matters you would like to be addressed when it comes to mental health, or how we can be better people in society, just personal development. Because I know right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, we were involved ourselves in an initiative just this past weekend called Vugandoda, and that was raised and aimed at, the men of society and of course the Vooka Nation who want to be better people and show up as the best version of themselves, where they could go there and of course share what it is, their struggles, of course, tips and see how they can mentor each other on becoming better men, and maybe even redefining what does it mean to be a man in modern society. So thank you so much, Bobby, for joining us today, because of course it's hashtag Wellness Wednesday, that midweek pause that you need in order to go on with the rest of your week. Of course, it has been the Mind Basket right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Thank you for your time, Bobby.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was great. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
There we go, man. Just ending our day on a very high positive note, man. I think it's one of the most important thing. Just taking care of yourself mentally.
Yes.
It's Wednesday. We just need to get rid of that midweek slump.
Yeah, man.
And here we are, having these wonderful conversations. Not only conversation, but thought-provoking and compelling, right? And I hope that wherever you are listening and watching from, man, you have taken some few points that you can use, of course, because you don't want to indulge yourself with so much information to a point that you can't even process little things, and the things just go past you, because now you want to consume a lot of things all at once. So take that time, pause, reflect, and come back again, then do what you want to do. But with that being said, man, it was a very nice, of course, morning with you right here.
Yeah.
Not only a morning, but a Wednesday morning.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And of course, we've got some funny videos that we're going to sign out with.
Yeah.
Because, what is, pain without a little bit, just laughing away our pain, just laughter, man, beating that midweek slump. We're going to, because we're proudly South African, and the only way we know how to get over anything is maybe sometimes making a joke out of it. Right? And since it's Heritage Month, some of these videos are, in a funny way, bringing some light to some of the issues that we are facing in South Africa, and of course, giving you a funny take and something to laugh about right when you're watching them. Let me get them to Umwekezi, because he seems to have some trouble accessing those. But also, just as I do that, Vooka Nation, I want to say to you, thank you so much for being part of, the community that we are building right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, and taking part actively in shaping a better society for all of us to be a part of. Because without you, right, we wouldn't know that some of these things need to be addressed. Because it's okay when one voice, like the voices in our heads can tell us lies, and can make something seem important, but maybe it's not that important. But it also is a way that we can all just relate to each other and find where we can get to a common place, you know, and how we can go forth and sort out these issues and just, you know, live in a happier, healthier, and more intentionally mindful community. So yeah, man, as from me, UTC Gamazibugo Shabalala, your prime cut creative and positivity dose of the day. Umamshengu omuhle indlovukazi yakwantu molaso wawela ngeyibuko ngithi kunina bayede, because for me that is me saying I am here, I am present, and I know who I am. But yeah, let's check out these funny videos that Mweketi will have for you.
All right, Vooka Nation, man, it's been nice being with you. Just chilling, man, you know. I'm not a conine, at least you are chilling. And of course, man, doing some positive things, man. There are people who are chilling in my conine, and guys, just not being up to no good, man. So it's things that we are avoiding to say, guys, let us redefine what's chilling, right?
We can chill and use our brains, or chill and just be ignorant.
Exactly. So Rona, we chill in a different way, man. So I'm just glad that you guys take your time to chill with us, of course, and have that energy exchanging, because you know, man, sometimes it helps, you know, to kind of watch something that will help you mentally, you know, and learn some of the things. That's why we also bring some things that you and I can learn, so that whenever we go outside, we have something, you know, that we can bring into the table. Don't be the table.
Hey, wait, nah. And yes, that was actually something I wanted to discuss on the show, but it's okay, man. As you know, Vooka Nation, the conversation never ends here, like Musi says. It need not end here, and it never ends here. So you can also go onto our social media pages, because even right there we will be giving you, or you can have you know, consume some amapele pots and pans content right there. You know, those recipes that you know you need. Maybe that midweek, maybe that meal is getting boring, and you may be looking for a way to spice up, you know, like
bring
your meals, right? Back into your life. Maybe food is your way of just letting go of the stress in life, you know, and maybe you need a way in which to make it more flavorful. Pele Pots and Pans has your back covered. We've got you with that one. And of course, right there, we still have our competitions, and of course, Women Crush Wednesdays, the For Instance Muse, of which we have some entries, and we're going to be looking at the women who have set forth and put forth their style to say, man, I'm here and I'm ready to glow up. But for now, let's watch these funny videos.
Yeah, I just love you chose Vafa, man. I love this guy.
Do you need me to check, or you already know? You tell me what's wrong with you, I write here and I say, I'm just a witness. This is like an affidavit. The patient is always right. So how many days off do you need? You're lucky you came on a Wednesday. You're starting early. Because some companies, they don't allow you to be sick on a Friday. Okay, so you have a headache and you can see whether you need the MRI. Wow. No, I was just checking a picture of my crush. Your x-rays will only be ready next week. I forgot it was connected. Medicine. For this one, I don't think we have medicine. I would suggest prayer. Muslim 5 times a day. Man. So you need to choose a sickness that people can't check. You know, that way we are protecting the both of us. Heat stroke, and it's the middle of winter. They're going to catch us. Now, if I wasn't here to check what you are saying, hey, so are you paying with medical aid or Stockfell? Hello, Lena Le Tombstone. Hey, what did I write here? Hopefully they can understand. Good thing it's not serious, eh? Chest pain, eh? What was it like?
Man, I love Vafa, man.
Man, that guy is funny, man. But like, he's bringing, like, you know what, those issues, all issues in one videos. In one video.
Man,
yeah,
super. Let's check the other one out, man.
Aribantse. Nikosha abantu epitori ngoba aseba South Africa. Bahleli na. Amihambi. Migwazeni. This is too early. Migwazeni vela mchikila. Ngiyakhira futhi akhuluma nespeed. Midulile. Migwazeni ke. Ngikupela migwaze. I just really don't understand. Nakupela.
Ama-saloon avaliwe, ama-shoemaker avaliwe, building imile. Isimende, building material, amiyakhi. Nkasi yakhi mo, nkasi yakhi. Akirina nikosh. Let's do that for Kulmi Suit. Akirina nikosh. Nikoshenke. Ikatula the crom. Crom amafuni is tender this weekend. We am Mwabeni. Smile. Mikweti la. Pikwelile.
Like yazini skumba, okay. Like I love the way they walk away. Like the last one, I just died, bro. I'm just like, yo. Like legit, man. Whoever made this, man, this is premium production.
Yeah, this lady, man, yo, people have come out and they were like, yo, yeah, man.
These children deserve funding.
Hey, Miko iti, man.
Hey, and a little child like literally nothing. Oh my friend, like yazi.
Mikwelile, ay, lirona maikwala la shu. Marikwaling shu.
And the last one, yeah, man. Yeah.
Bruh, you know what? Yeah. These are the things that we just go through on a very high energetic Wednesday, man. So yeah, guys, let me get to the last one. Why is it like it's the same link?
Is it the same one? Is it?
Yeah, so these links are the same.
Yeah,
they're the same. But of course, man, we just
and these are things we touched on in the show. And look at how funny, like guys, this is what we do as South Africans, man. We laugh at our pain. Good guys.
Do you have a medical aid or are you paying with a stock fare? That was a good one, man. But yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for chilling with us. It was nice, of course, bringing you that daily dose of positivity. This was another one, man, from the Vooka Breakfast Show, and it does not only stop here. Tomorrow morning, once again, it's Thursday. It's time to align ourselves, man, spiritually and of course holistically, right? So please do make sure that you stay with us throughout our social media platforms, and we do not. Marikwaling. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for showing the love and appreciation. My name is Mokiti Maimaneke. Max for maximum temperature. I am the son of Mother Nature.
Generator.
So love yourself, take care of yourself, and enjoy the rest of your day ahead of you.
Bye.
I like it filthy, she my Achilles. I'm out for millies, not just for memories. Been on a mission, did I mention it before? I can't be slipping till I'm reaping what I sow. Keeping my rearview mirror empty when I'm riding out, cause ain't never risking this. How I'm a great with them, but my pockets down and my head ain't into this. That's why I gotta keep my hustle strong and not let them breathe too long. Never know who needs you, reaping what I given this seed to.
knows what happened when you relentless, and your actions start to match the path for which you intended. Put the time in to perfect the craft, I'm the truest in it. Ain't a doubt about it either. When it's in, you better own it. I'ma shout it out the speakers from a small city. When not many make it out the gate, I put my all in it. Delete no debate on if I'm great. Plenty folks who got opinions that'll never know the stakes. When you solo every battle and your soul ain't got the faith. I'ma pray, I'm a hero, but I'm Clark without the cape. Put it on, I'm about to fly when I'm almost about to break. Understand you hold a trial and the triumph in your hand. What's the plan? You can't just take what they give you. You a man, you was chose. This life can get darker before it glows, but we shining and it shows through the flows and the prose that I speak. That's why you can find me at the peak. I get the climbing just when it's looking steep.
When my feet dragging in place, I'ma still keep it moving, holding the pace. Feel the drive I can't ever replace. This the life I chose, and my hands still holding the wheel that I never know that it take. When the sight of the sun bring a smile, early morn make it work all the while. That the evening brings for the nighttime rings, and the moonlight sings this time.
Soldier in this, I was molded for this. Built and bred by the days I could never forget. It was bound to exist. Shape this land with my own hands, so pay what I'm worth. Give my respect to the grind, I'll never short on the work. If I be blessed to see old age, I'll smile at the dirt, knowing I own what is grown to pass it all down to my first. If you let some inside you die, then I'm here to rebirth. Never lose your purpose on this earth.
When my feet dragging in place, I'ma still keep it moving, holding the pace. Feel the drive I can't ever replace. This the life I chose, and my hands still holding the wheel that I never know that it take. When the sight of the sun bring a smile, early morn make it work all the while. That the evening brings for the nighttime rings, and the moonlight sings this sound.
Seem like every captain gotta maintain the cap. You can make change, don't change for that. Tell the whole truth, get paid for that. Bet you never fall off, you was made for that. You gotta be who you really be, shine from the inside. Cause they ain't really who they say on the outside. You gotta be who you really be, shine from the inside. Cause they ain't really who they say on the outside. Slide around the city with my day one. I ain't gotta worry cause they A1. Wasn't in the field then you can't come with us. My little shawty going stupid, going straight dumb with us. I'm a big time, still humble in the hood. Gotta keep it positive on nothing but the good. When I'm on vacation, I be stunting like I should. Got a real queen falling, she gon' stumble on the wood. And I still be doing business with my brother down. And I know that if I got it, I'ma cover them. And I know that if I need it, they gon' give it back. Gotta practice what you preachin', I be living that. Taking trips round the globe, bringing game back. Touchdown hood, happy that I came back. Take a photo with my granny for the memories. And if it's for a good cause, I'm buying 10 of these. Seem like every captain gotta maintain the cap. You can make change, don't change for that. Tell the whole truth, get paid for that. Bet you never fall off, you was made for that. You gotta be who you really be, shine from the inside. Cause they ain't really who they say on the outside. You gotta be who you really be, shine from the inside. Cause they ain't really who they say on the outside. Knee deep in the game and I'm still the same. Why you always hating? That's a shame. Gotta split the profits with the ones that came with you. All the homies share the vision, yeah, we got the same picture. You won't catch me in the club, I like to meditate. I be higher than a bird, I like to levitate. When I ask them how they doing, it ain't never great. So I be focused on the money, need a better rate. Baby girl eating veggies, doing yoga at the crib. Swimming in the winter, don't get colder where I live. Still the same number, if you got it, you can hit me. Pull up to the park, I'ma match you on a sticky. I ain't tryna be
be nobody I ain't gotta be. 100 bands up shopping at the Dollar Tree. Never been a type that gotta act, gotta lie. I just go and get the bread and bring it back to the tribe. Seem like every captain gotta maintain the cap. You can make change, don't change for that. Tell the whole truth, get paid for that. Bet you never fall off, you was made for that. You gotta be